Favorites, we here for the latest. South side or the north side, not tuned to the greatest. Home team for the home teams. Both sides got our own rings. On the mound or the long ball, but we don't put the wrong strings. Yeah, it's that time of the year now. Wrigley or Gantes or the whole league that we hear now. New show with a new mood. Discussions and interviews. Straight rumors that might be. This is Pinwheels and Knife.
All right, hold on.
Hey.
The rate track. God damn, the Bulls can't shoot. Yeah, we're switching. We're a Bulls pod now.
Bulls pod. See red.
See red. And retweet. Oh, repost. I'm sorry. Sorry, Elon.
Reacts.
Exit again. All right, you guys ready?
You notice how it's still twitter.com? Oh.
I'm pretty sure X in a bunch of different ways .com is taken, and it's not fun, or depending on what you're into. But all right, ready? 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday, October 26th, and you have found the Pinwheels and Ivy podcast. I burped, and I'm also your host, Matt Sawaski, aka Father Zoe, aka Southside Zoe, and with me, as always, Mr. Aldo Soto.
Every sport has great rivalries. We just saw the Rangers take down the Astros. And I think every podcast needs a great rivalry. And I'll do everything I can to make Zoe and Mitch on the golf course this generation number one.
That's like inter-family fighting. I thought you meant like us versus another podcast.
No, we need an podcast.
Mitch, we should do that. We should do a 2-man scramble against another fucking podcast.
We'll run that.
For the content. And ladies and gentlemen, he sure
4-man best ball.
He sure as fuck is Ken enough. The good Reverend K Fids.
Enough or K Fids enough. No, I mean all this golf talk makes me excited, except I'm on the other side of the country where it's still 90 degrees outside, where I can go golfing any day and wear shorts and a t-shirt still, which I'm gonna do probably on Sunday, actually. If I don't go to LA for the Bears game, that is. So we get into this golf talk. We got some fun.
We are getting into golf talk today because it's just bound to happen. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the prodigal son has returned. And boy, however, did he return. Look at that fucking sexy piece of man meat over there with his new haircut. Ladies and gentlemen, he's back. NASCAR Mitch.
Well, hey, I appreciate the intro. It is so good to be back. You know, I've been listening to the last couple episodes, and I ain't gonna lie, I've been getting kind of roasted in a couple of them, understandably so. Whatever, decided to roll with the punches. I ain't gonna say anything. I decided I thought it'd be nice and promote the show, despite the fact I've been getting roasted these past couple weeks, and it came back to bite me in the ass. Now I'm getting roasted for my golf swing. It's been a rough one. I had a state trooper pull me over, and he roasted me too. It is awful.
What did the state trooper roast you for?
So, backstory behind that one. Before we
real quick, to get back at him, did you get the same haircut as him?
At least you're here for it, right? It's
exactly. So I, having the name NASCAR Mitch, I got a bit of a lead foot. So like earlier when I first moved down here, I got a pretty expensive speeding ticket. So since then, I've been like mindful of like, hey, I'm not trying to speed. So I was driving down to work because I got about a half-hour commute down to Columbia. And I saw a cop like a little bit like a half mile up ahead. So I'm like, made a mental note. I'm like, I'm putting this thing on cruise control, not going to speed. Well, then Keisha Cole came on the radio. So, I had to sing along to that. And so got to the point where I was warming up the pipes, trying to get the high note where she's like, I can't believe you're hurting. And I guess
holy shit, never do that again.
Yeah. Well, hit the gas.
That's like me last week when I was singing.
I hear like, woo, and I like turn around. It's like, oh, fuck. So, I had the state trooper behind me. So he comes around like license registration or whatever. And it was Illinois discrimination. I was going 77 into 70. So like that was bullshit.
63.
Me over. But like, he was like, all right, I'll let you off with a warning, but like, give me your license and registration. And he saw it was like an Illinois license or driver's license. And he's like, oh, like you have to, he's like, do you live here? Like, and I'm like, no, I'm only like here temporarily or whatever. He's like, oh, because like if you live here, you have to get like a Missouri license or whatnot. I'm like, oh yeah, I know. So he goes back, like runs it, and he like comes back and he's like, wait, like, aren't you on the news? Like I recognize you. I'm like, oh fuck, like yeah, I am. And he's like, don't worry, you'll get better eventually. Writes me tickets. Because he caught me lying.
Damn.
So
obstruction of
Do,
go from
do
warning
peop-
to ticket. Then he also caught me.
we got a criminal on the podcast.
do people in Missouri call Illinois people FIPS
I've never heard
or
it.
Fib? Fib? I think it's FIP.
Fids?
No, it's from people in Milwaukee. Or people in Wisconsin call Illinois people FIPS. Fucking Illinois people.
They do that because they can't spell fucking Illinois people.
This is the new thing. I think
They
it's
can't spell Phipps either, but
state trooper.
All right. Well,
Vagisil. We got a price check on Vagisil. We got a full-on fallopian.
speaking of a loaf of bread, it smells like sourdough.
I like that rush.
So tonight we're going to talk about the World Series.
Vagisil.
because It is the biggest event in the sport that we do kind of cover on this show. So we're going to talk about the teams in the World Series, predictions for the World Series, and then apparently we are going to get into a little bit of golf talk and miscellaneous shit. We were mentioning before the show how our friends over at the 108 usually do the bullshit segment and then the baseball segment. We've kind of just adopted the opposite, where we get the baseball stuff out of the way, and then who knows where it's going to go.
Nonsensical.
It's been a wild ride these last couple of days, which I've actually kind of enjoyed. So with all that being said, let's tap this keg. As always, the show is brought to you by SportsMockery, sportsmockery.com. Make sure you're downloading the app, turning on push notifications so you'll be the first to know, I don't know, when the Bears starting quarterback's dad wins another arm wrestling competition. SportsMockery, sportsmockery.com. Also, it is brought to you by Uncle Bud's, 9700 South Cicero. It used to be the old TCs for all you OG Southsiders. So we talked last week about the Queen of Hearts. I have been told that it's been pushed back to where it's going to start in November, which is actually a good thing because YouTube is kind of dicking us around about super chats right now because Aldo has too many offshore Cayman accounts, and it's kind of biting them in the ass a little bit right now. But we should have super chats by next week. Don't worry about it because now the Queen of Hearts thing isn't going to even start till November 1st. I don't know, Mitch, if you missed it, we're going to do probably the whole month of November. Any super chat we get, we're going to put that all together, and I'm going to go buy Queen of Hearts raffle tickets at Uncle Bud's, and the proceeds go to the Oak Lawn Special Needs Kids Athletic Foundation. So, yeah. So we're going to
get behind that.
Yes. No, you better.
After you said cut, of course, no.
It's better to be in front of it, right?
And then also, if we end up winning the Queen of Hearts, we're all going to go to Vegas, and then we're going to tell you we're going to a fancy dinner or to McDonald's to eat, and you're going to show up in shorts, and we're going to go to a real fancy place.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
I was just recommending a tuxedo T-shirt. Just keep it kind of formal, but still let everyone know you like to party.
All right.
No, we're going to be in Vegas, and we're going to ask for the room with the broken AC for Mitch.
Yes. So
now it's getting cooler out, so now it's like the perfect temperature. I just don't have to run anything. It's great.
Sweaty Mitch sells
lay
tickets.
down. I'm comfortably living. I'm not sweating like a pig on the air.
Yeah, he's got a hoodie on.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. We're here. We're at the end of the road for the 2023 season. We are in the World Series, and it's two teams that Vegas and pretty much everybody at the beginning of the year. I mean, all right, some people probably had to have thought the Texas Rangers were going to make the World Series just because of the money they spent. They got DeGrom. Like, things were looking good for the Rangers going into the season, but they had a rough start. And then what did I message you guys? The Diamondbacks were like plus 18,000.
God dang.
To get to the World Series preseason. So that just means Vegas and pretty much everybody just was like, nah, we're good on that. Hold on, I want to get that exact number.
They were supposed to be like the cake on the schedule. When you look at the schedule, that was a sweet.
Yeah, plus 18,000.
Take 5 or 6 in that one, and then they, stuck it in a broke.
They were only projected to win like around 80, 81 games, which I mean, they only won like 84. But
and so this World Series to me definitely signifies what we've been kind of talking about all year. How this year felt like there was more parity in the league. How it wasn't just the usual suspects dominating everything. And of course, the playoff structure caused a lot of people to cry about it. You know what? Just fucking win. And that's what these two teams did. They made it to the dance, and now they're both leaving with the prom queen. Little Chinese finger cuffs. But still, they both got there kind of in different ways, if you will, because the Diamondbacks is a lot of homegrown. I'm trying to think of a big free agent.
Andrew Chafin.
Gurriel was like their big free agent.
Yeah,
Andrew,
Gurriel,
Andrew, Andrew Chafin. They ended up trading him at the deadline. Remember, they traded him to the Diamondbacks or to the Brewers. They were like
But see,
selling.
and the positive to take away from that for White Sox fans is the guy that architected all that is now on the payroll on the South Side. So we got that going for us. There's not a lot. Mitch, we had a blog, a Seattle Mariners blog.
Close.
Like, randomly come on our show. Yeah,
after the bad trade he suggests.
Yeah. And I tried for an hour, Mitch.
By the way.
I tried for an hour to think of something to trade. Couldn't with a straight face.
From the
Young aspiring journalist like you, Mitch. Actually, he graduated from the Cronkite School of Broadcasting.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. I kind of went into it like, all right, I'm just gonna like roast this kid, and then he showed up and he was like super nice, and I was like, oh well, fuck, like, all right. But he was really nice. And then on the other hand, if you were to ask me what team you should build a blueprint around to like start an MLB franchise, I would say it'd be the Texas Rangers.
I would make a franchise.
Not Chris Jets. He would say the Kansas City Royals.
Well, yes, he very much said the Kansas City Royals. But the Rangers, to me, I know some people are like, look at their payroll. They went out and bought superstars and blah, blah, blah. They did. They went out and got the best free agents when they were available. And Simeon, who else? Corey
Steger.
Thank you. I couldn't think of his last name. They went out and got Jacob deGrom, who's not even playing. They made the trade for Max Scherzer at the deadline.
But they had signed John Gray earlier in free agency.
And they got Jordan Montgomery
at the trade. Yep.
I got to ask a question too. So, when did you buy that Rangers hat?
This hat, I've been wearing it all season.
That's what I'm saying. When did you buy it specifically? Let's look at the records from the day that you bought that hat.
See, I'm making this show even. After the hour, I'm switching.
Oh, because you like the D-backs. Yeah.
I do. I like both these teams. I'm excited for this World Series. But then my biggest quarrel, if you will, with people that are on Twitter just being like, oh, they just spent a bunch of money. Look at who's producing in that lineup for them. It's homegrown motherfuckers. Jonah Heim, Josh Young, who just hits the ball a billion miles. That kid just has a violent swing. Who's the left fielder? They called him up. They called him up in September.
He's right.
Evan Carter.
There you go.
Carter.
Look at these kids. You know what I mean? Like, that's homegrown shit. So that's, to me, the ideal way to have a franchise is have a team that's willing to go out and get the best free agents when they're available, but also handle your homegrown shit correctly.
The Dodgers model, basically.
The Dodgers, I guess.
They always have an elite farm system, and then they go out and get the best guys available to supplement them. And every time they lose a free agent, it's never a big deal because they always got someone coming up the pipes in their farm system.
I'll never understand any fan base getting mad. I mean, obviously, if you lose, you start just coping hard. But I'll never understand the fan bases who are like, yeah, well, you guys bought your title. It's like, who the fuck cares?
And this is a very good point, Andy.
You guys lost more baseballs in the bleachers, man. That's not fair.
This is a very good point by our guy Andy in the comments. The Mets spent all the damn money in the world, and they didn't do it because that was a poorly ran franchise.
I don't understand like the people that could complain about spending money either. It's like, well, it's not your money they're spending.
No.
It's like, if the owners want to spend money on it, then like, wouldn't you want them to be spending money on it?
There you go, Aldo and Fids. There you go from Ian.
Oh, where'd he go?
It says Cardinal fans should be having a pretty big cry about not having an outfield of Robert, Rosarena, and Adolis.
I think there's one more. I think they could have signed Juan Soto. I think Max Scherzer. I think I saw this. I think a couple weeks ago. Max Scherzer called Adam Wainwright when he was a free agent. This is like the first, when he got his big first deal, I think it was. And he was like, "Hey, tell your boys, I'd like to pitch for the Cardinals."
I can
Adam
see him on
Wainwright
the
went to the
Cardinals.
front office, and I think the Cardinals just never called Scherzer. And then I think he signed with Washington.
I could definitely.
There's so many things that, as obviously we pay attention a lot as Cubs fans, that you see the Cardinals that they get away with a whole bunch of bullshit trades. Like when they got Goldschmidt for nothing, Arenado, they got paid $50 million to take on Nolan Arenado. But then you also look back at the past like five years or so, they've had a lot of fuck ups. Because not only that, they traded away Zach Gallen and Sergio Alcantara, or not Sergio Alcantara, Sandy Alcantara to the Marlins in one trade for 1 year of Marcell Ozuna. That was an awful trade for them. Plus the Arozarena, plus the Garcia DFA or the trade to the Rangers. They fucked up a lot. So
Plus being boring as fuck.
In fairness on the Adolis Garcia, like no one thought he would be.
Because that one's just a good one to like lump in because I think the Rangers did also DFA him. So.
Right. To bring up,
and then they got him back.
But holy fuck, have a series, my dude.
Whew.
I mean, we could just dive into
He's
the
4
Rangers
home runs
Astros
away
series.
from the postseason record for a single postseason.
I got a quick question too before we really get kicking off too, because I keep hearing this from other people, like really non-baseball guys. But does the the fact that it's the Rangers and the Diamondbacks, do you guys think it hinders or helps?
I saw that too.
Because I'm curious what you guys think. Because I feel like social media has been buzzing like hell with this matchup, but I don't see it. But could be the Twitter bubble.
I think it hinders it a little bit because the fact of that, like, baseball diehards are gonna like watching it. Like, I think we all appreciate a Rangers Diamondbacks matchup. But the fact of the matter is the Diamondbacks is not a whole lot of like star power as far as like name recognition goes. Like if you ask a casual sports fan, name a bunch of players on the Diamondbacks, they probably can't do it. And the Rangers, a little bit, I feel like that's like fine, but there's not a whole lot of stars on the Diamondbacks, and that's what drives ratings. So not a whole lot of people watch that team either throughout the course of the season. So I think it kind of does hurt it a little bit.
I would agree. Unfortunately, I would say to like the casual baseball fan, like Mitch is saying, I think it hurts it. It's not like the Yankees Dodgers. You know what I mean? Like
the pitch clock's not going to fix this one, then, huh?
And you're not getting like coast to coast type stuff. It's pretty
right.
It's the Southwest, and
that's always a tough. That's always a tough conversation with baseball. It's just it's so regional.
Yep.
Like people in the Dallas Fort Worth area, they love the Rangers, right? But like people in Austin, like they probably don't care.
They're closer to Houston. They're actually probably Astros.
They probably don't care about Houston. Like, all right, I don't care.
It's only like a 2.5
my
hour.
barometer is I was out Saturday night at a bar with my wife, and I was pointing out the game. What was that? Game 5 between Philly and Arizona was on, and I pointed out a Diamondbacks fan who was like, he's having a meltdown because that's when the Phillies won that game.
Yep.
They're hitting all those bombs in Arizona, and I pointed him out. I was like, "Oh, the dude's having a meltdown at the bar," and she thought the guy was wearing a Corbin Carroll jersey.
Yeah,
like white, the old school white, the turquoise 7, right? 7, whatever number he wears.
He's 7.
She had like no idea. She thought I was pointing out like another guy who had like a Diamondbacks hat on, and then like I brought him up again later, and she goes back. She's like, "Oh, I had no idea that was a Diamondbacks jersey." But like she knows Harper, she knows Schwarber, she knows Castellanos. Like that's like she knows some players, but like
she knows
if you're talking about like a
Hugo.
casual, just like, hey, do you know these guys? Like you said, Zoe and Mitch, like it sucks to say, but the casual fans just it does.
Maybe they tune in because they don't know these people. Like, what is this? What is this all about?
No.
What
Game 1 is on a Saturday. Football
like,
Saturday.
They shortened the bases. I'm gonna watch now. I wasn't gonna watch the World Series, but now I'm gonna. No, okay. The fact is, though, you're right. That's what makes it very difficult. But you've got to think that there's going to be some people tuning in that might tune out because they're pissed off that their team lost. Going, I can actually palate watching the Diamondbacks play the Rangers. Because I know for a fact that when I'm fucking pissed and I'm mad that the Cubs didn't make it or whatever it is, sometimes I have a hard time. And I know a lot of people that are worse than me because I'm a baseball junkie. But I know a lot of people that I can't watch my team. I can't watch the postseason or the World Series if it's not my team. But when you have two teams that are kind of likable, like both of these, with two very dynamically different stories, especially as underdogs and 100 loss teams, you might be saying, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Let's watch. Because some people are weird like that. They're like, I'm sure like Dodgers fans right now, right? Probably not. But now all of a sudden they're like, well, the Rangers are kind of cool. I want to see them kick the teeth into the Diamondbacks. This might actually be kind of fun because they're a big power hitting team. They hit third most home runs in baseball this year. Let's go.
And that's why I'll be tracking, just because it's also a very interesting matchup, because like two teams, you pointed this out in the chat, like very opposite. Like the Rangers hit a lot of home runs. Diamondbacks, this young team that pitches really well, but not like the huge big names. I mean, selfishly though, I was rooting for the Phillies just because I thought Bryce Harper and Castellanos and all of them were electric. And then I was rooting for the Astros too, because I wanted to see Abreu in the World Series. So I mean, honestly,
who are you rooting for in the World Series so I can pound the other team?
Probably I'm going for the D-backs. In this,
all right, Ranger. Oh, they're like
Rangers one. I would
170.
be like, I don't really have a dog in the fight. I just hope it's close. I hope.
I said it last week. I think the Rangers are going to win, and then once the Diamondbacks beat the Phillies, I'm a huge grudge guy. The Texas Rangers don't really mean much to me as a Cubs fan. I'm still bitter, annoyed that the Cubs got their ass kicked against the Diamondbacks. I am rooting against the Diamondbacks hard. I hate that team. Fuck them.
Vegas likes to point this out because Seawald, obviously, who closed it out, Vegas kid, Harper, Stott, Vegas kid. I would like to point out that it's
a bunch of chokers, Bryce Harper and Bryson Stott.
We're going into the 7th year that poor Bryce is going to have to sit here in Vegas and know that KB has more rings than him, which it exists. I guess we'll say the discussion exists about Bryce not being a winner. It is there.
Yeah,
did you see him game 6 and game 7? Bunch of fucking losers.
Yeah, he disappeared. And then afterwards, he's crying in the locker room like, I let the whole city of Philadelphia down. Well,
he played really well. Like,
just fucking do it.
It was Bryce Harper, Castellanos, Schwarber, and Turner were like what? Like 1 for 25?
Disappeared.
Game 6 and 7.
Bryce was raking like, but
all those guys fucking sucked at the end.
So a couple reasons why
pitching
this World Series
again, let me make it clear.
ratings.
Fuck the Diamondbacks.
Understood. Well, you fuck Suzuki for dropping the ball. If he doesn't drop that ball, the Diamondbacks.
That's not true. I don't know why people are saying that. The Cubs did not have the tiebreaker of the Diamondbacks.
No,
they had to win 2 more, or they had to win 1 more game than the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, Diamondbacks what 5-6, 5-6.
So
they would have had. They both would have had 84 wins.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks won 5 of 6, right?
I just saw a bunch of people tweeting about that shit.
Well, yeah, there you go. Casuals, fucking frauds.
Yep.
You don't know ball. Sorry.
They don't know ball. If they kept saying
I definitely think that this World Series will do fairly decent in ratings, actually. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I wholeheartedly agree with Mitch, what he said, that like everyday casual baseball fan. There are some people, very small amount of people, there are some people that watch the World Series just to watch the World Series. You know what I mean? Like, but the reason why I think it'll do numbers, a couple of reasons. One, anyone that likes baseball at all has a reason to like both these teams. They're both scrappy. They're both a lot of fun. They both have filled with great stories. I'm sure like MLB on Fox is doing a million like thought pieces right now on all these different players. But the big thing in my mind is how legalized gambling has expanded and expanded and expanded.
That could also alter the ratings.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And like, there's going to be some dude in
Texas.
There's going to be some dude in New Jersey that can name 2 players on a team, but he has the over, so he's going to watch this game.
That is crazy.
You know what I mean?
The
like,
2 biggest states that don't have legalized gambling.
That is
you can marry your cousin at 12. That's weird.
Fucking Texas.
But that's why I think, when you see those inevitable like game 2 of the World Series, did this much blah blah blah, and the Nielsen ratings or whatever the fuck they're called, it's just I think they're gonna do okay. Mainly because
I think they'll do great Friday. I mean, it's a Friday night, not much other sports going on. Game 2 though on a Saturday, college football. It's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Is there big games this Saturday? Like, is there like a?
That's the thing. You just talked about gambling, dude. People just love to gamble on like the ACC fucking 10th team.
I
Dude.
literally have Sam Houston State -3.5 right now.
There you go.
This is how sad gambling is too. It'll be like at 11:30 at night, and I'm like, what do I have in the live bets here? Oh, look, there's a tennis match somewhere in Australia. Let's go. We're gonna take this match here. Let's go.
So there's there's Oregon Utah. That's at 2:30 in the. What time's the baseball game?
I think it's
By 5.
7 Central.
Yeah.
All right, so you got Oregon Utah at 2:30, which is wild because that's a West Coast game. Then you have Duke Louisville. Those are 2 ranked teams. That's at 2:30 as well. What's the marquee matchup though this week?
Maybe there is nothing.
When does 5-1 UNLV play this weekend or 6-1? What are they? 6-1?
I actually just I just saw UNLV.
Let's see. Ohio State plays at
They're playing someone-
6:30.
Air Force this weekend.
UNLV plays at Fresno State at 9:30 Central.
If they win that one, they might actually get a vote.
Well, there you go. Maybe there aren't many good
Florida,
games.
Georgia. Okay, I didn't know that was this weekend. All right.
Oh, that's 7:30. Oh god, dang, Fresno 7. Oh, that's a 6-1 versus 6-1. Nice.
Yep. Florida Georgia is a good game. I still don't think it would.
It's not going to be a good game. Georgia's going to roll Florida. Florida's not.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm saying more of it's a like a big.
Oh, yeah, no,
deal.
there's nothing
Florida.
late. There's nothing late.
Yeah.
So you know what?
So, yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'll take it back. Maybe they'll do fine Saturday night.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, as far as predictions go for this series, I think it goes at least 6-7 games. Like I don't see this being a sweep or anything crazy like that.
They got Rangers in 6.
I'm gonna go Rangers in 7.
My gut says Rangers in 7, but I've doubted the Diamondbacks all series long.
Yep,
And it's going to come out to if their pitching can hold up, but good pitching and defense usually translates no matter where you're playing. So against my gut, I'm going Diamondbacks in 7.
I'm feeling very good about my prediction.
That's where I'm already at. Diamondbacks in 7. That's where I was. I go first, but Mitch and I are on the same page again, like our preseason predictions a few times too. But
Yep. that worked out. That worked out awesome.
I even voted in an online poll that said
Speaking to the conversation about popularity and these teams, people caring, I wanted to bring up how I don't know what the solution is, but the Arizona Diamondbacks had Game 4 and Game 5 start at 2:07 local time.
Oh, that was actually, I almost didn't mind that selfishly because like we have TVs in like the newsroom, and so like when I'm out on assignment, I can't watch any of these games. So it was actually like really nice because I could like peek up and like
Wait, what time do they start?
2:07 in Arizona.
So what's that? 3:07 in Chicago?
No, it was 4 in Chicago, and it was 5 out in the East Coast.
we have fall back. Right?
Like,
Do you guys touch back up with us this weekend? Although I always fear it's fall back this weekend, right?
No, now we're gonna be.
Are now an hour? Do you go to Mountain Time now?
Well, we don't change. It's you guys.
Oh, we're the ones. So we fall back. So yeah, okay. So we'll be Pacific time will be an hour.
An
before.
hour, and then an hour with Central Time.
Closer to Central.
But that was just crazy. It was like middle of the week, and I remember because I was gonna make a bet like on the like a home run or something, like someone hit a home run, and it was 2:15. I looked at my phone, and then I check, and it's like already like game in progress. I'm like, what? Like the game started like 10 minutes ago. Like. And I get it. The Rangers and the Astros they had to play later, and I know you can't do the NLCS is one game, ALCS is the next game because you do kind of want to keep the baseball series work where they played 2 games in a row, 3 games in a row, so you don't want to lose that aspect of it either. Like I don't know what the solution is, but man. Seeing that it was like a back-to-back game play NLCS at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday, that was so stupid to me.
Alex got us. It's actually we don't have to worry about fallback. That's not till the 5th. So it's just
kind of really liked it. Like Mitch said, selfishly, it was I work right where I'm sitting right now, so I'll
people
sit
in
here working
Arizona,
okay,
no wonder nobody went to the game.
Right.
Yeah. And then you saw that shit about Philly fans buying tickets so people wouldn't show up.
Which, by the way, fucking karma right in your fucking asses. I thought you guys had the best home field in sports. And then
they were a pretty electric crowd, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Only when they were front runners. That's all I saw.
And you piss them off, they start throwing batteries and shit.
Well, they were down 2 in Game 7 or whatever, and they showed that little crowd meter thing, and it was like almost world record loud in there. But
And they were all still standing despite
were,
being
they
down 2 in the 9th. So like,
They didn't support their team like the Rangers did, standing ovations and all. Right, it was the Rangers that did that, right? Where they were like,
well, I know a lot of the Philly fans stayed in the stadium to boo the trophy presentation after the fact.
well,
that's fair.
that's more a Philly than anything.
Well,
Yeah,
the other thing I like about these random, or not so much random, but like
That's random. You can say random.
well, yeah, like the
random
Diamondbacks
works.
and Phillies, yeah, like obviously NL West, NL East, is that when you do get the random matchups in NLCS, is that then you get like the new, like Alec Thomas putting down the flag, like that's just going to be a huge thing next year when they
Southside.
play,
Oh yeah.
like new rivalry out of nowhere after
And I mean,
that.
I'm glad you brought that up because some people, I tweeted the video of it, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you're just being an asshole. Like I get him. He's from the you know what I mean? Like Southside, so he's being a dick, and he's caught up in the moment, and we tend to do that a lot. But it's super disrespectful, and I told him he should probably wear extra. I said in the tweet, I was like, you should probably wear some extra padding the next time you go to Philly. And like people were in the replies being like, oh, he can have fun, he can celebrate. I'm like, yeah, you could fucking celebrate all you goddamn want, but you don't go out there and plant your flag
But
on
and like that's
the
the thing,
opposing team's field.
I would have been fine with it if it was the World Series. You still haven't won it, big guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got to it.
That's right.
You didn't win the World Series yet, dude.
And that's where I worry a little bit about the Diamondbacks. And I say this after I just pick them, of course. But because it's such a young team, relatively speaking, like it feels like that's one of those where they peaked and you have that emotional high, and then it's like, okay, now we got to reset because we still got like work to do. Where I feel like the Rangers got a couple more guys that are a little bit more battle tested and have been there before. So that does worry me a little bit.
look, if I'm the Diamondbacks, this whole World Series, I am playing nothing but Alter Bridge as the band of choice. That's the spinoff of Creed when Scott Stapp decided he was going to leave, and
I don't think they're going to do that because you are easily the only person on the show.
No idea.
No one knew what you were talking about.
You heard Alter Bridge, dude. Miles Kennedy's got some pipes. He was actually a better voice, but it sounded just like Creed except with a different singer.
So I agree with Mitch. I was going to put it a little bit more crudely and say I think Arizona kind of shot their load and against Philly.
Same point.
But
same point.
I mean, the Texas Houston series had a couple like emotional games, but it didn't feel like as intense as every Arizona Philly game was. You know what I mean?
I don't know, man. Well, it's because there were blowouts at the end.
Right.
Like,
Well, that's what I'm saying. And
when
that's what I'm saying.
Garcia was hitting his fucking
then
moonshot.
To further that point, because of Adolis, I just feel like Texas just has more like killers on that team. Like more guys that are going to go out and just like Adolis Garcia he is insane right now. Corey Seager, very quietly, fucking insane right now. And and then you have all the rookies that are showing up. And I know
It's the same thing with Philly, though.
Yep.
That's true.
And I know that in the Diamondbacks, like Corbin Carroll disappeared for a little bit, but man, did he show up in Game 7. A big X factor for me in the World Series, though, is going to be the stolen bases. And we saw that really fuck up Philly in the Game 6 and 7. But if you can get them Diamondbacks on the field or on the base paths, they can cause some trouble.
I love how they picked their poison. They picked their moment there too with how they got aggressive. They got aggressive and things changed in the whole series, which was great.
Well, they were finally getting on base.
Right.
They were. I mean, it's crazy to say like it's the X factor because he's like their star player, but you saw it in 6 and 7, especially Game 7 when Corbin Carroll can get on base. He's a fucking menace. Like everything just go. He's almost an automatic steal.
Yep.
And then bam, second base. And then you just have a hit. It's 1-0, and you're like, "Fuck, we're ready."
We all know damn well that
instant offense
that sits in the back of the pitcher's mind. They can say they don't care about it. They whatever. When you have a guy like Corbin Carroll on first base, you are thinking about Corbin Carroll on first base, and all of a sudden you leave a curveball up.
Yep, one little lapse.
That his first hit, the first inning in Game 7, it was just like a slow roller up the middle. Bryson Stott does a great job getting over to cut it off, but like that's an easy base hit for him because of his speed. He's still second, and then bam, like base hit from Moreno.
And the thing is, JT Realmuto has a pretty good arm.
Yeah,
he's very good arm. And they were running on him like he was Yasmani Grandal. They were fucking all over the goddamn place. And so I don't know what kind of arm Jonah has. Heim.
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 But
Luke. Bruhan Luke, real quick. God bless you. I had up 4 of those last week. Sorry.
I don't know what kind of arm he has. I'll look up his caught stealing percentage here in a second, but that's a big factor for me in this World Series. If the Diamondbacks can get on base, Texas is going to have a big problem.
And then the guy who started Game 7 for them, or Fott.
He's the guy.
That guy has been a beast in the postseason.
Do we remember early in the year we were looking for people to trade, and we were going through the Diamondbacks farm system, and he was one of the guys that came up. We're like, we should trade for this or whatever.
That's true. We did. God damn it, we totally did.
Yeah, that's how I remember that guy. I was like, oh my god.
When would the White Sox learn?
And that also goes to show you how things can just rapidly change. I think he was pretty brutal his first, I don't know, handful of starts.
Yeah,
and then it just clicked in late September and then into October. He just flipped a switch and now he's striking everybody out.
I'm looking at Jonah's baseball savant page here.
Is it rough? A lot of blues?
He's gonna have a bad time if they get on base.
Well, if they get on base, that's the other thing. The Rangers have Nathan Eovaldi, who's like the greatest postseason pitcher of our generation now.
Boston legend, but his pop time he's in the 45th percentile of all catchers.
Well, you know what? I think that tells me we got to start betting Diamondbacks stolen
base props. I am in, dude. I am so in. But it was so weird though watching that series. Like the Diamondbacks, they didn't steal a base until Game 6?
Game 5, right? Was it a Game 5?
Game
or was
5
it after Game 5 that what's his name said we got to start running, and then
it's like
I think it was after, because the first 2 games in Philly they just weren't getting on base.
No,
on one of them.
And even if they're not stealing, like the threat of knowing there's a guy on base that's fast, it fucks with the pitcher. And you saw it even like in the Philly series because you're worried about gotta throw over, gotta hold him on. You're not focused on the hitter.
Yep. I think that's a big difference. And then obviously on the Texas side of things, it's a big if, and it's a big no shit. But if those bats can stay at that high click that they've been at, I mean, I know you're going against the Houston Astros. There's an extra little extra lead in the pencil because you want to beat your in-state rivals and shit like that.
And Ted Cruz isn't going to show up to support the Diamondbacks like he did with Houston. I think they're 0-5 when he showed up to their games. That's
That's true.
And then I get it's the World Series, and I get it's like what these guys have worked their whole life for and all that stuff. So they're still going to be like up for it. But I mean, if Texas, that lineup 1 through 9, you couldn't breathe. And if that stays that way, I don't see how they lose this series. I mean,
I just think
I told you it was a big no shit comment, but
they're when you go head to head starting pitching wise, and I know Gallon has been great. They have Merrill Kelly and then Fott has stepped up here, but I think Eovaldi, Montgomery, and then Scherzer's their 3.
Yep.
Scherzer's been kind of he's
been bad.
Bad, but yeah.
But if you get Eovaldi and Montgomery to pitch twice in the series, I think they can shut down Arizona more than Arizona can shut down Texas.
I can easily see the Diamondbacks going down 0-2 in the first 2 games, and then having to call it.
Oh, speaking of home field advantage and how that just does not matter in baseball, that ALCS, all the road teams won the games.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I also think that in the battle of the bullpens, the advantage goes to Texas.
That's a great band name, Luke. Snakes and Sex. He meant 6, but in 6.
But yeah, I think in the battle of the bullpens, I'm going to give the edge to the Rangers. I don't know. I really feel like it's going to be the Rangers. Like I said, 7. I'll stick with 7, but it'll probably be 6 or 7.
I think it's going to be a great series.
I'm going to watch every minute of it because I'm going to bet the shit out of it. But yeah.
I already know. First game, I'm betting Corey Seager home run.
Yeah. And then I'll probably go. I'm liking a lot of overs in these games. I know you just talked about the Rangers pitching staff, but the first time when they rolled Max Scherzer out there against the Astros, everybody that I talked to about gambling, I'm like, they're gonna get to Max. They're gonna get. You don't get 5 months off. Show up in the ALCS and throw a fucking gem. It just doesn't happen. And he started out. I was like, oh shit, I was wrong. But then they got to him.
You're right.
So, and I know D-backs bullpen's been lights out. I just I'd feel more comfortable if the team that I was rooting for had the Rangers bullpen. Because
See, I feel like you say that though, because outside of Seawold, like how many recognizable names are in the D-backs bullpen? It's a whole lot of people that no one's ever heard of.
Not many, but even if you pull up the stats and all that stuff, when you go into like, I know playoffs are all about getting hot and staying hot, but as we talked about last show, both these teams now, they get a week off? It doesn't start till Friday, right?
Yeah, Friday night.
So a little less than a week, but I'm not saying that they're both going to cool off, but there's some time to think about some shit in there. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to come back. There's going to be rejuvenated and ready to go, but you're going to have to reignite the hot hand. And that goes for the hitters, and that's why I said Texas lineup. I'm not sure if they can keep that same level they did against Houston, but I said my prediction. I'm sticking with it.
I really gotta wonder, does Sebi get a ring? Diamondbacks win, does Sebi get a ring?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it does.
Hey, he's on the 40-man roster.
He's on the 40-man.
That's why Mitch is room for the Diamondbacks.
Damn right.
Imagine if there's an injury to the backup catcher.
Oh,
Nope. Get
Comes in
Sebi.
his palm.
Get Sebi. Sebi becomes the new Jeff Blum, just a pinch hit.
Yeah. Well, there was a chance he was going to start a game. The catcher got hurt, and they're
Yeah.
like, Sebi's the only other catcher on the roster. He might be getting the start. I was all excited.
You can finally dunk on all the haters.
Could you imagine if let's say game 3 goes into, I don't know, like 15 innings or whatever, and they're like, here's Sebi Zavala pitch hitting, and he comes in, he just hits like a walk off.
postseason's magical. Stranger things have happened. David Ross hit a home run.
I mean, fuck, Jeff Blum for you 05 White Sox fans.
Blum.
I know you guys just mentioned him, but yeah, there's heroes. That's usually when heroes are made and people become legendary. Like if Adolis Garcia goes crazy in the World Series, he's stamps Texas Rangers legend, Adolis Garcia.
I didn't realize he was like completely bald. And so like during
Yep.
that like fight, because I'd always see him with like a helmet or a hat on, it was like very, I don't know. It caught me off guard. It's like, oh my God, that's what he actually looks like.
I absolutely loved how much he pimped every home run against Houston.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely loved it. And it wasn't like cheesy or gaudy, but like just the whole slow saunter. I guess you have to be like super jacked to pull this off. Because like he was doing like the Hulk walk. Like he was like and he's just like, and then
He's
he just
carrying
Hulk
two
smash bat.
suitcases.
Yeah, and then he's Hawk smash bat. And then he would run. But I can see why Houston was pissed about it, you know. And it's one of those things where if you want him to stop doing it, strike him out.
Strike him out.
But to throw at him, which they totally threw at him, might have been the dumbest thing in the world. I was laughing my ass off when they threw at him, and he turned around to Maldonado. Maldonado didn't. Usually catchers will pop that lid off real quick and get in their face. He was sitting there like, nope.
I might be the only. I'm the
Chad-
only person on this podcast probably that doesn't give a shit if some dude doses someone and dots him if he's fucking being a dick or whatever. You guys obviously probably feel differently, but in the World Series, that has no fucking place. Like
That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
every at bat is important whether you're up 10 or not.
I thought the Chapman thing where he was throwing 102, like that was horseshit.
Well, he's a piece of shit human being. Fuck him. But yeah, I was very much laughing when the beast that is Adolis Garcia turns around and he like gives him like the 2-finger right in the shoulder, like, and he just stood there like, "Thank you, sir. Please, everyone, get out of the dugout now."
I don't even think that was intentional. I don't think that one was even intentional. If I'm being honest,
When they hit Garcia,
There was a
yeah,
retaliation.
I think Garcia thought it was intentional, but I think if you look at Maldonado's, I don't think that was.
well, there's
Didn't the Diamondbacks get their revenge in Game 7 though? Didn't somebody get dotted in the back of the knee or in the back of the leg? Is that what you're talking about?
That was Chapman that
yeah.
Yeah.
Chapman was throwing.
Chapman got revenge for the Garcia that won. But I don't think the Garcia one was intentional like he thought.
It's the only reason I can think of that I wouldn't want the Rangers to win is because fuck Adolis Chapman. I hope he doesn't get another ring. He's not even good.
Diamondbacks.
He's not even good anymore.
No, he's always a nightmare. I think because he lost the closer job. He's in the 8th innings.
Yeah, he's not even good. Well, the dude that's been closing for the Rangers, pardon me, I can't think of the dude's name. That
Leclerc?
motherfucker.
Seawald. That's Seawald from Vegas.
No,
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 the
for
Rangers.
Oh wait, that was Seawald for the Diamondbacks. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Who is it? Who is the closer?
Homie that's closing for the
Leclerc.
Rangers, he is fucking ice cold, man. That dude should be. In another life, he was an assassin. He's sitting out there. His facial expressions do not change no matter what the situation. I was just because I watched the one game against Houston where he got in a little bit of trouble, like first, second, no outs or whatever. Didn't fucking matter.
Didn't he
Didn't
serve
give a
up
shit.
the yeah?
Leclerc.
He did. He did.
Altuve,
Leclerc.
He did. But
Walker.
that's gonna happen. But again, once he served that up to Altuve,
To your point, yeah. Facial
stone
expression is the
fucking
same.
face. Didn't give a flying fuck. I mean, that dude looked like a Sakara. Like he looked like a fucking straight assassin, dude. And I was like,
Alex Colomé vibes, except he was effective.
yeah, and he's
Alex
doesn't-
Colomé was the same way. He never smiled. So is
Did
Oh.
Colomé ever pitch for the White Sox in this season?
oh yeah.
He
there's-
did when they got brought him back. Okay,
It didn't last very long, but
No.
yeah, he had a 2-week stretch.
It's
legend.
Let me tell you, it was like
my favorite joke from what's this? Charlie Sheen with the baseball Major League 2. When he
Mitch,
pulls up
you
to
can
the-
do a great article, especially after after the trade deadline. Like, do you guys remember all the players who played on the 2023 White Sox?
I think there's
just
a
some of the
smart
random
article.
ass
some
names.
random ones.
But yeah, it's the joke from Major League 2 when Wild Thing pulls up to the restaurant and the
Yeah.
valet goes, "Mr.
Like,
Vaughn, thought you were pitching tonight." And he goes, "I did." He
Yeah,
goes, "Oh,
yeah.
my bad. I turned it on in the second inning." Like,
I still remember 2016. I think Joe Nathan pitched 3 games for the Cubs.
yeah, I
Just
actually.
randomly.
You know why I know that? Because fuck Joe Nathan, because he used to kill the White Sox when he was on the Twins. And I
That's
got
right,
really mad when he was on the fucking Cubs. And I was like, all right, fuck this guy. But all right.
Dang, the Bulls are down 16. What the?
Yeah,
Oh well,
they
the
can-
Bulls stink. I don't know why.
they
I didn't
can't
want to say
They cannot shoot at all. Like they can fucking hit water
the
with a
the
throw
bull.
into the ocean.
It's. I mean, it goes back to ownership. The Bulls have the same problem year after
Who's the-
year. They
who's the
don't
owner
have
of the Bulls?
3-point shooters. They don't sign 3-point shooters. They don't trade for guys who can shoot. And what happens? The
They didn't do
season
anything.
starts,
Like, they had
and
a
you have to
3-point
make threes, and they fucking can't. And guess what? Hate it or love it, that's the NBA now. Get guys who can actually make shots.
Yeah, fucking they're playing Oklahoma City. They got a 7'2" white dude that looks like a skeleton with a jersey on. He's out here popping threes.
No, but now you got to rebuild around DeMar DeRozan. You gotta. That's my
I don't
rant
hate
on the
them.
Bulls.
I mean, no, you're right though. They needed to add some 3-point.
That is my. I used to like. It sucks so much. I used to be such a passionate Bulls fan, and after what was it? After 2014-15, that season, I just like this. What the fuck is this franchise doing?
Mhm. They're stuck in NBA hell.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
I did want to bring up before we get to the bullshit. The Cubs are going to bring back Kyle Hendricks. They're reported, or they're trying to bring him back on a multi-year extension. He has a club option worth 16 million for 2024. Do you guys think it's smart to try to bring him back 2-3 years for like 10 to 12 per year? Because I'm assuming that's what it's gonna kind of be. He's 34.
Right.
He had a solid season. He had like a 3.74 ERA. The whip was fine. The ground ball rate was back to normal. He had a couple of rough starts, but it was just only. I was looking at his his game logs. He had like one truly awful start all season. Do you bring him back?
I'm in
see,
a
there's-
position with the White Sox. I don't know what they're gonna do. I honestly have no idea what they're gonna do.
With Hendricks, I feel like he's the type of pitcher with his style of pitching. He could probably pitch a little bit longer with his age because he's not like he was never like a blow you away with his stuff.
That was the other thing. His velocity went up again to like 88.
So yeah, I feel like I don't know if I would do it if I was GM, but like I would get why they would. I feel like you could still milk another effective season out of him, and because he's been there so long, you pat him on the back. It's like a hometown discount. Like, all right, we'll throw you a bone. You've been a good soldier all these years. So I would hate it if
Yeah, and him and his wife are such respected pillars of the community and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
I can, like, way up there. But we'll do this. Maybe we'll start doing it next episode. We'll get into like off-season plans, but I think they have 2 weeks from today
Right
to
after
pick
the
up
World
options.
Series.
Yeah, to pick up options.
I think it's three or 5 days after the end of the World Series.
I think we really, really get a peek behind the curtain with Getz.
Okay, that
2 weeks
brings
from now.
me. That's a perfect segue. This is the one, and this was a few weeks ago, and I didn't have the chance to talk about it. But I do have a take here on the White Sox that I know I'm going to get some flack for. I realize it's probably not. Smart people, baseball people, will say it's a bad take, and I understand it. But I do think when the news came out that the White Sox were interested in Salvador Perez, like, and it immediately got like all this like pushback. I'll be honest. Now, look, I will preface this with saying, yes, there are. I can see why people don't like it. It is way too much to pay. So yeah, not saying I would even be in my off-season plan to add Salvador Perez, but it would not be the worst thing. So, does he strike out a lot? Yes. Does he not walk much? Yes. Is he a horrible defender? Yeah, absolutely. However,
Wait, you forgot slow as fuck.
so is Yasmani Grandal.
However, either.
However, this is what I will say for Perez. This is why I don't think it would be like the worst thing if they did sign him. As far as catchers go, 23 bombs and 80 RBIs is a pretty damn good season. Like, and that was a down year for him, but not a whole lot of support around the rest of the lineup. If Yasmani Grandal hit 23 homers, I think everyone would be thrilled. In today's MLB, the teams that usually hit homers tend to do well, especially now that we traded Jake Berger. We do not have a whole lot of guys that hit home runs. Perez, he always hits home runs. Like, that's the one constant. Like 2 years ago, he led the MLB in bombs. And once again, a lineup with not a whole lot of protection around him. That'd be number one. Off the field, this is where the other thing is. The Sox' biggest issue was like culture problems, which is like an overused word. They always talk about that. Yep. Perez is the exact type of guy you would want in your locker room. The Royals only have had 4 captains in their team's history. He's been one of them. He's well respected. He's won a World Series before. He knows what it takes to do it. And if you listen to the quotes from like all his like former teammates and coaches that he's played with, he's always open to talking to young guys. He's very helpful and like teaching guys. This is the guy that we thought we were getting in Yasmani Grandal when we signed him. This is the type of guy you want in your locker room that's been having all these issues. That's like, oh, the culture's bad. You know, there's all these issues. And Pedro Grifol, not a whole lot of respect in that locker room, justifiably so. The one guy he'd have as an ally is Salvador Perez. So if Pedro Grifol is trying to get the room back to respect him, wouldn't be the worst guy to add. Now, I get all the red flags, and I'm not even saying I would go out and add him, but like I feel like it was a bit harsh, the reaction. Like, this would be the worst thing they've ever done. Like, I honestly wouldn't hate it. I would not hate it. It would suck paying him the 40 plus per year. But if you're getting in a bad season, 80 home runs, 20 plus home runs, 80 plus RBIs, and what he would do for the locker room, like I don't think it would be that bad of an addition. So, I get it. Maybe it's a bad take, but I don't hate it.
I will agree with you that it's not the worst thing in the world. I think
there's Ebola.
A lot of my frustration with it is it continues the pattern of just settling for shit.
Also a good point.
It just keeps going in that pattern. Like Salvador Perez is like, we can get that guy. He's a guy, he can do maybe the locker room stuff. Hopefully he can still hit the bombs at 34 and all this stuff. But like, go out and make like a major move. Like that just feels like they keep doing what's coming easy. Like go out and just do something.
Morales said, "Shit, you got to do something big. You got to do something for the Chicago White Sox fan base that says we're back."
Yeah,
in a way that's like we mean business, because all that talk from Han for how long now, nobody gives a shit. All they hear is wah 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 when you talk. Action now is what you expect from the front office. There has to be action, or nobody's buying in.
I think the only way this could be a good trade is obviously if you're getting Salvador Perez. I mean, it's what, $20 million per year for the next 2 years. You're not, the White Sox aren't going to compete in 2024. Like,
no, that's not.
So, but I think you can still do it. Okay, the clubhouse stuff, the intangibles, fine. You get some pop. Okay, is if you can buy a prospect from the Royals. You're like, hey, we'll take on all the money. Yep. We really like this guy. That's like in, I don't know, AA, triple, whatever, whoever it is. I have no idea. what good or bad prospects the Royals have. But maybe
Yeah, but if you don't have
Chris Getz
the-
knows some guy or the guys that they've hired who have more
Throw us,
recognition.
are we looking for someone major league ready right now, or we got a year or two away, guys?
I have no idea, but like just get
I'm
talent.
just saying. I'm
Get
looking at the
talent
pipe.
because you're not going to compete in 2024. 2024 doesn't matter. And hey, maybe you get lucky. Maybe Salvador Perez does get back on it and has an even better season. And it's like, hey, all of a sudden you can trade him. You're not going to get a lot, but hey, maybe you can ship him off.
Sounds like
I
Cody.
do think you would
Buy a
help
prospect. You're not going to compete in
college
2024.
in the dish.
respond to Ian's comment. And now look, this is also admittedly, I agree, it wouldn't be the best acquisition, but setting the bar low. Grandal is a terrible catcher too. You're getting a better version of what you had last year with Salvador Perez.
Yeah, I feel like you're just swapping out Yaz for Salvador, and you're getting a minor upgrade. It's like
It was
swapping
not a
out
minor
your-
upgrade. That would be a significant upgrade. He's the home run thing, because we were getting nothing on either side of the ball, defensively or offensively. At least Perez provides a little bit of pop, and plus, unlike Grandal, he's good in the locker room, which we need guys like that. That's that was our biggest issue, I think, last year. The last couple of years, the clubhouse was terrible.
So Kansas City does not have any prospects in the top 100, so you could pretty much just shop whatever you want. See,
Well, get 3 guys. I don't know.
I'm just saying,
whatever it is. I could only see it in that way. It's there's some guy in their system that you
throw me
Chris Getz, whoever, somebody that they brought in, the guy from Arizona. Maybe he liked this guy in the draft 2 years ago. Whatever it is, buy a prospect. Do that.
Oh, sure. Throw me
Well,
Gavin Cross. There's your future right fielder.
The other thing with the catcher stuff too, I have a feeling that the White Sox are going to trade Eloy this offseason, so Perez could easily slot in as a DH.
Gasp.
They wouldn't even
Yeah.
necessarily have to have him as a catcher. I actually think he'd be
So
better as a DH.
we'll fill one out like we always do, but the Sox Machine guys are going to do their off-season program, and I guarantee it, 9 out of 10 are all going to trade Eloy. Everybody.
I
That's
think the most popular are going to be Eloy and Moncada. People are just going to want to ship off Moncada.
You can't trade. They won't be able to trade.
No, but that's the thing.
Seems
Sox
fine.
fans don't care about that.
Yeah.
They're going to want to trade Moncada.
For the record, too, I would just like to say my off-season plan wouldn't have trading for Perez either. I get there are red flags there, but I feel like the vitriol it got was a bit of an overreaction. It would not be. I can see where the White Sox are coming from and targeting a guy like that. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's
do
where you
have
get
to
your
add-
overreaction from. People are just sick of this shit.
I do have to add, if you guys weren't sick enough of former Royals, do you guys remember that random report last offseason about another Royals infielder that the White Sox were supposedly interested in? Remember Nicky Lopez?
Nicky Lopez, yeah.
Naperville kid.
Say hello to your future second baseman, Nicky Lopez.
Jesus.
Well, unfortunately for the White Sox this offseason, a phrase you're going to hear a lot is it can't get worse.
It
just
can't. Their
over-
rotation is going to be terrible. Clevenger's
I
going
don't-
to
Theoretically.
I have no idea who. We don't know who's going to pitch. We don't know what Getz is going to do yet, and that's why after the World Series, right after the World Series, we're going to really see for the first time what Getz is thinking.
I honestly, I don't
the
think
the TA one is the one that's intriguing the shit out of me.
that's the first one. If you see that his options decline, it's they're not going to be spending any money.
Right. If they decline his option, it's just they're going to try to angle it as this is us changing everything.
Changing
We gotta change. We gotta
culture.
change. Yeah, we
Changing
got to change.
culture. They're just going to keep talking about culture for the
We
next.
got to change everything. We got to change this and change that, and we're a 100-loss team, so we need to blow it all up. But
I think right now,
that's fine.
heading into the offseason, I don't think it's hyperbole to say that there is not a single starting pitcher that you can guarantee is going to be in the rotation. I don't think it's a guarantee that Dylan Cease starts 2024 with the White Sox. Or Michael Kopech. And then everybody else is just guys who were randomly brought on the team throughout the season. Anyway.
I think Kopech has a bit. I think Kopech has a little bit of a better chance just because his trade value is next to nothing, and they've already said repeatedly they're not putting him back in the bullpen. So Dylan Cease at least has some trade value. So I think that's not necessarily a guarantee, like you said, especially if they decide to go in a different direction. But we'll see. We'll see what they do with TA.
Yeah, to me, that's going to be the first. Like, are they going to let Getz do his own thing, or what are we going to go here? I'm interested. At least that's one thing going into the White Sox offseason. It's going to be interesting. Could be interestingly bad, but it's going to be interesting because there's a new guy at the switch.
Yeah,
We'll see what he's going to do. If it's even him pulling the levers, he could easily just be a figurehead. But
Have there been any rumors? Kim Ng coming in?
Ing.
God, I hope so.
What would worry me there is I hope so too, but why I don't think it would happen was because one of the issues they had with the last regime was Kenny and Rick fighting and going over each other's heads. And they told Chris, like, hey, we're giving you the power to call the shots. Now you bring in Kim Ng, who just left because they were going to bring in someone over her. Well, she's going to be wanting to call the majority of the shots. And I think that is the White Sox, because they're idiots and hired him so quickly without doing a proper search process. I feel like that's going to drive her away a little bit just from that, because I don't think they can guarantee her all the shot calling. Because
just imagine all the shit Kenny Williams was talking about the White Sox to her and their trade negotiations.
I just think it'd be hilarious to see her walk in and be like, "All right, Chris, let me see what you're thinking." And he hands her like the super confidential off-season plan packet, and she reads like 5 pages of it, and he's like, "Are you fucking serious with this shit?
What the hell is
like,
this shit?
What is this? Are you trying to lose 100 games again?" And then it all blows up, and we have another decade of misery,
chaos, dogs, cats.
But
do you think? Are you predicting they blow it up? I know it's an unknown. You if you had to vote though, you go and they blow it up, or you vote and they try and retool.
Oh,
I would hope they blow it up, but they're probably going to be fucking stupid and do another half-ass retool. And
that's what I think too.
Yep.
Because they're paying Benintendi long term. You still got Robert in their prime. I feel like they're like, oh well, Eloy can have a bounce back year. Moncada looked good the last 2 months. Let's go, roll the dice.
There is even with the limitations that Jerry puts on the payroll at times, there is a path where they, again, I don't think 2024 is their year. I think there is a path where they can get back to competitiveness in 2025, because you can get some second-tier solid starting pitchers this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the White Sox historically haven't spent a lot of money on starting pitchers in free agency, so it's going to be tough. But there are some guys that, we can get some surprise, maybe a 4 years, $60 million contract, maybe like another Benintendi type contract for you're hoping to be a higher ceiling starting pitcher, because there's the starting pitching market. We went over the hitters. The hitting market is bad.
Terrible.
A lot of starting pitching depth in free agents.
I would like to point out how bad that Benintendi signing looks in year one. The man was a below average fielder when he came in with all this gold glove. Oh, he's gold glover. Like, not only was he he was a below average left fielder, and he couldn't hit. His if you look at his exit velocities, when he did hit, he never hit the ball hard. He was terrible. He was a liability on both ends. That man was costing him games, not just in our paycheck.
I was always laughing during the season, he would play a ball off the wall or something like that, and Steve Stone would be like, "Yeah, man, that's why you signed an Andrew Benintendi. You see how well he played that ball off the wall? He saved a single from being a double." It's like, huh? That's why you signed him to the highest contract ever?
I had to look it up because I knew it was bad. But Andrew Benintendi with the White Sox had his lowest career worst WRC plus besides 2020. He finished the season at 87. Below. That's 13% worse than league average. And then he finished the year at 0.0 WAR. Bad.
Well, there's to Ian's comment, I don't think there's any shot they move off Moncada. That's why they traded Berger, because they know no other teams are going to want to trade for Moncada at this point, and defensively, you're not going to find anyone.
And I have a theory about Moncada that we saw him kind of get a little bit healthy and start playing a little better towards the end of the year. It's a contract year for him. He is easily well known to be motivated by money. I think he'll actually be pretty decent this year.
I do, yeah. I can see it. If he can stay healthy.
Well, that's always the big if. But The other thing that's not healthy is Mitch's golf swing. So let's talk about that.
Oh,
Yeah. Let's talk.
Let's get into that.
let's pull up
talk
the
about
film.
that.
Let's pull up.
Let's
the
not
film.
pull up the film. You know, this is last time content for you guys again. You know, you want me to like sit there for 10 seconds doing my normal routine and line it up? I just took a step
No,
back.
I appreciated the content.
I know the
thought I
swing
was-
was ugly. It was not a good,
I
but
was
that's not my
watching
normal golf
fucking
swing.
Ben Hogan swinging a fucking actual wood out there with
That is not my normal golf swing.
deep.
Yeah, it was ugly. It was ugly. It wasn't.
I don't
good.
even know like how you did that like on accident. Like that's seriously like go watch like a 1952 Masters clip or
Because
something.
I just took a step back and just swung as quickly as I could. I like lined up the ball and just swung as quickly. I did, you know.
I was
That's how that-
outside fixing a car. No big deal. Fixed it first try. But
It was a bomb, by the way, too. I'd like to point out, despite the ugly swing, that thing was a bomb.
next, well, you got to get the camera next time behind you when you swing and do the shot tracer.
All right.
There's a free app for that, and you can also lie when you do that.
No, I was gonna say
Yeah, you can
use
like,
the shot tracer, but you make your own.
Yeah.
You just it's like it went 350.
But yeah, I'm working on this car, and I stop for a minute, and I take my phone out and look. I got all these Twitter notifications. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I open it up, and I just see fucking Ben Hogan out there. I mean, I thought you would have like what are those Payne Stewart pants on and fucking the little
The
Peaky
high
Blinders
socks?
hat on. Yeah, and the high socks.
Well, it's funny. I usually always dress up when I golf. Like I got nice golf clothes, and then like I came to this course the first time, and I was like wearing a golf shirt and golf pants, and I would look like an idiot. Everyone else is out there with like jeans and like tank tops,
Jorts.
There's like
They're wearing jorts.
they're all
Yeah,
looking at it like, what the hell is
You're
he
in
on?
Missouri.
So yeah, that's now.
I will say I'm with you with that. Like if I go golfing, I play in a men's league at a local municipal course that is not very fancy, and I need to wear like nice shorts and a polo every time I go. I can't just show up. One week I was busy and I was like, oh shit, I just got to go to the course, and I had like sweatpants shorts on and like a t-shirt. I felt like the biggest asshole the entire round.
Right.
I'll say this though. I'll say this, man. Like again, having golfed like with Shreve and some of those other guys, those dudes wear what Mitch was wearing. They wear like those athletic tapered sweatpants, and they wear like a in essence like a golf hoodie is a thing now.
That's-
Well, that's a big
Sharp
thing
as
now.
shit. Like I think it looks good. I mean, it's and especially if the weather's kind of cool. So I don't judge you for that part. I'm not a.
Fucking, oh no, that was fine. But
I love that.
Rory made golf hoodies cool because he finally did it. And I remember all the old school golf people. This is a disgrace. Well, I was like, it's a fucking.
And Rory should love Liv. Why was he hating on Liv then? They like have no dress code.
I think there's a big difference between wearing a hood and taking Saudi money and disrespecting the PGA and
yeah.
all this other stuff. But
I'll get the sound.
so then we bullied you online enough where you felt the
Again.
need to take poor Mitch, to take a video of your real swing. Real swing was way better. Your lower body was a lot more quiet, but I don't know why you feel the need to do the splits when you fucking.
What do you mean? Just
Set
like
up.
a wide base?
Well, yeah, why your feet should be shoulder width apart. Your feet are fucking like out. Like you have way too wide of a base.
I only do that for the off the tee.
Looking like fucking Jeff Bagwell out there getting ready to fucking hit the ball off the tee. But you have a very violent swing too. But you're young, so that's why you have a violent swing.
You
Like,
get a good extension though. You have good
Mhm.
extension. I thought that your upper body I thought looked like where for the most part where it needed to be. It was the lower body movement. I think we call it. I guess we'll call it. Like I was saying, you look like you were on your heels a little bit too, which allows you to kind of pull back and then.
Right.
I feel
That's
like
too much. That's too much technique. Nobody cares about that. So, what's your best round ever? We need to get into the
hold on. I
nitty-gritty.
want to hit it straight. Hold on.
I think I'm usually hovering around like the mid 80s, like low 90s. I think my best round ever was an 81, I want to say.
Okay. Zoe?
Never broken. I've never gotten
pre-accident.
Pre-accident. All right, we'll go with the prime. Prime Zoe.
Pre-accident. My lowest round was a 78.
Okay, so we got some. All right, in the range, Kevin. Best round.
Post-accident. 87, I want to say 86.
All right.
When I was at the newspaper, I played 3 times a week. So I actually was able to play. I was playing really good. So I got down to a 76. I actually told myself I actually like.
Oh,
Oh,
damn.
man, I'm four strokes
Fuck
off.
it. That's all I need to hear. Stop right
And look,
now.
hold on.
Challenge to every White Sox podcast out there. Fuck with our squad.
But hold on.
Scramble, and you cannot bring in a ringer. It has to be the people that are on your show.
The story gets
dare
worse.
you.
Though,
We'll
'cause
make it even. I'll play.
But I went
Play
from
once a decade.
I promised myself that if I shot scratch golf, I get myself brand new golf clubs. Right, that was like my goal for myself because I was using hand me downs that my dad gave me in like '98. And then I left the newspaper to start teaching and start coaching, which the summer is especially when you have opportunities to golf. So now I'm cracking. If I crack 90, I'm fucking lucky, probably.
I love it, Missy. I love it.
But I did. I haven't played with my new clubs, and I've been playing with literally the same clubs from '98. So I literally am stoked to get out with the new clubs because I have a much larger room for error.
It makes such a big difference.
I still got old clubs too. I just got a new club for my birthday. It was like a wedge, and it was like funny. I was supposed to anchor the noon show that day, but I was so excited to use the club that came in the mail. I woke up at like 5 a.m, got a White Sox article done, hit the gym, and then played 9 holes of golf all before my shift at noon. I was very proud of myself.
Maybe everyone comes to Vegas this winter, and we do like a podcast golf Vegas.
I'm down. Hey, when the NASCAR playoff race comes there next fall, I'm
saying, man.
Perfect right after Overseed, too. It's beautiful right now.
Get the sports bombs. Get the 108 guys. Get the fucking on tap guys.
We will wax.
I want to see my Sox summer hit a golf ball. I think it would be absolutely fantastic. I mean, we've seen Baloney
again,
ball, so I'd love to see him.
I know Baloney and Jason golf. I know that for a fact. But I dare you, bring your squad. 4-on-4, 4-man scrambles. So we'll make it nice and fair. That definitely evens out the playing field a little bit.
Playing Sunday scramble, I think.
But bring your squad. We're gonna whoop your ass, and then I'll make you pancakes afterwards.
Before that, though, we need Yuzo have to. You have to play around with Mitch so you can get in his head, preparing for the mental game.
I mean, that's easy.
I would love
you have to break it down to build him back up.
That's easy money.
Skins game.
I was getting roasted on Twitter, getting rained on, and we still gutted it out and got below.
Like we can't just like start like right away like a 4-on-4 scramble, and then like we're on like the third tee box, and Mitch is.
I'm not gonna fuck with him when he's on my team.
No, but the other team is gonna fuck with him. That's what I'm saying. We got to prepare. You have to train him.
I got it.
You can dodge a wrench. You can dodge a ball. Let's go. Get in the head.
Also, to address which is actually funny that I got called a serial killer on Twitter.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah, I have. There is a backstory, but it was funny. I was out on the street the other day, and the camera guy's like, "Mitch, you kind of look like the American Psycho." And I was like, "Oh, I mean, Christian Bale's a good-looking guy." But no.
So you took that compliment and decided just to.
Method act. I had the suit on, but anyway, for the right and the
Mitch definitely watches himself in the mirror.
See, I think I think Nick. What is his name? Nick Holt.
No,
Nick Holt.
Offerman.
Wait, hold on. Let the man finish his defense.
Okay, but the reason that the full name is on the scorecard. So when I first was playing competitively, I was gonna do. I agree. But so that's what he said.
Nick Holt. I'm not kidding. Nick Holt. Mitch. Same dude.
Hold on.
I heard.
Stop. Time out. Mitch, tell us why you are fucking psycho and you write your full name on your.
Oh yeah.
When you play by yourself.
So when I first started playing, I was trying out for the golf team in high school, and the summer before the tryouts, I had never played in a competitive tournament or anything. So I signed up for the USGA, and I was doing the tournaments, whatever. And I didn't really know the format or whatever. So you come in and they give you your scorecard, and usually I would just write Mitch or whatever, MK. But they give you the scorecards. They're all official, and you have to sign them and everything. And I didn't know what to put as far as the name. I'm do I write Kaminsky? Do I write So I didn't. So I just wrote the full name, and I had a great round that round. Well, then I came back in to turn the cards, and the guy was looking. He's like, "Why the hell?" He's like, "You didn't need to write your full name. Why the hell did you do it?" I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know."
Psycho.
The next tournament, I just put Mitchell on the scorecard. Bomb! It was I shot a 115. And so since then, superstitiously, whether I'm playing by myself or in the tournament, I'd always just write out my full name because I did it the first time I was in a competitive tournament and I played well. And then when I just put Kaminsky the second time, sucked. So it was just a superstitious thing. So I always just write out the full name. And the reason the eraser was there is because I didn't like the way it looked the first time I tried to fit it in because it's kind of a long name to fit in one of those golf scorecards. But I always do it, no matter who I play with.
So
Christian Bale. I say Nick Holt.
Yeah, closer.
I'll take off the glass.
And
the beast.
A totally non-psycho i.e., People Way, you wrote your name out on a scorecard, didn't like it, erased it, and then
It didn't
rewrote
fit
your
in. The eye was
format.
like scrunched in. I'm like, well, no, I can't
Oh,
concentrate.
that's
if I,
definitely normal everyday human behavior.
I don't give a
super
shit. Hey,
super
whatever.
normal. No, I'm trying to be nice.
You know
to
what?
so you
Actually,
don't
I love
fucking
that. I love that.
cut
on
my
the
head
golf
off.
course.
with
I love
fucking-
that killer mentality. Literally.
There you go.
Will you
All right,
just
well,
help
guy-
Mitch
well,
look like this guy so
We
you
don't got
can
any
get
grand
off?
superstitions.
Well, now we're just saying Mitch just looks like every white guy. Like,
No, I think I've always thought Mitch looked like Nick Holt, to be honest. I really did. Not as beast.
I heard a bunch. When I was younger, they used to say Rex Grossman. Then I heard Adam Scott.
Rex Grossman.
I've heard
Oh,
John
Rex
Mulaney.
Grossman.
Yeah, I thought that was a weird one too. This one,
Cataracts or
You white, you Ben Affleck. All right, let's move on. Come on, you guys have all seen that movie.
which one? I didn't even hear what you said.
I said if you white, you Ben Affleck.
Oh,
What's when
Luke, the pen they gave me at the
Stifler.
course in the Salisbury Golf Course, you go up, all their pencils have the eraser thing on them. So I don't know what
First
you
of all,
want. to
that
tell me.
should be
Still have
outlawed.
one, The eraser.
Yeah.
But
golf course should not have pencils with erasers on.
agreed.
Chicago Golf does. That's a nice ass course. That's one of the nicest courses in America.
Ooh, take that, Zoe.
Oh,
You wouldn't know. You probably can't play on there because
is it because he's
I really can't.
the only reason can you
Polish?
I can't.
Yeah, it's hard. The only reason I got to play there is because I was one of their peasants that worked there.
Yeah, I can't play on that. I'm not paying that kind of money.
Well, it doesn't
Oh.
matter if you had the kind of money. They have to invite you to be a
Yeah, you
member.
gotta be
Michael
in-
Jordan couldn't be a member there.
And Medina?
Huh?
No.
Oh, Medina had the same problem with Jordan too.
No, Chicago. Yeah, Chicago
Chicago
Golf
Golf.
is a harder course to play on than Augusta. It's
Yes.
very hard to get onto.
Yep.
Is it Target? Is it like big?
It's all right. I got one up on Mitch because I got to play his precious Indy Brickyard.
That is
Oh.
cool. That is cool.
Yeah, I got a golf hoodie from there.
I feel like the course should only be a dog leg left.
That course was
Oh, all right, never mind. Because left turns.
way hillier than I thought it would be.
Well, doesn't it go? I know that the whole course isn't inside the track. Isn't it only like 3 holes that are inside?
It's holes. I think it's 7 through 11 are inside the track. It's like the 9th hole, little halfway house is inside the track too.
A lot of hole talk here.
But it was. I didn't have a flat lie, except for the tee box the entire round. Very hilly, very fast greens too.
There's a course here. It's called Dragon Ridge. Literally the whole back 9. Everything is a tee box, a canyon, and then a green that you have to drive around this canyon and then go across a bridge to. And it like the whole backside is target golf. It's just like that. Like everything is like a canyon basically. It is fucking terrible.
I just thought of something. Oh, I gotta look it up.
Hard course. Played there with Kevin Sorbo once. That was fun.
So for those of you that are listening to this the next day, or you're in their comments, whatever, you probably know a friend of the show named Missy Carroll. Well, Missy announced today that she's going to have her own show called the Pregame Show Live. So what I need everybody to do that's listening to this right now is go on Twitter and follow at Pregame Show Live, and then find it on the YouTubes and go and subscribe and like that shit, because friends support friends. Missy's always in the comment section here. We always appreciate it. So yeah, go.
I better get a follow back, Missy. That's some bullshit.
But yeah, no, Baloney,
Yes,
I'm
I
glad
got
you're here.
Beef loaf.
We
just
formally
unfollow
challenged. We formally challenged every pod in White Sox land to a 4-man scramble.
How is you're following the 108? You're following Sandy, but you're not following the Pinwheels and Ivy, Missy.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's
Take
pretty.
that all back.
Yeah, that's I'm hurt and I'm sad and I'm hurt.
Mhm.
But I followed
follow
you.
back.
I got you. Did I get a follow back?
Oh,
No.
oh, well, she follows the Pinwheels and Ivy account back.
Oh, she does.
All right, we're gonna have to probably work out a handicap system here, because I don't want this to get too out of hand. Baloney from the Chicago Sports Phone says Jason, Johnny, and Dougie suck
Well,
at golf.
people are forgetting. I'm gonna play too. I suck. I probably suck the most. So
Well,
it
the
evens
good
out.
thing is in a scramble format, we won't put any like you have to use 3 of this guy's drives or anything like that. It'll be a very just fun scramble. So all you need is
Well, that's
one
what
guy.
that's what you're saying.
One
now,
guy
Joe.
out of one guy out of the 4 has to hit a good shot. One guy out of the 4 has to hit a good shot.
Well,
No, I can't stand
we could play where you have to use one shot every hole from every guy.
Then you can't do one shot from every hole. You gotta,
We should also have a rule that one of the holes has to be played with what was the was it a 3-iron that Tin Cup played with the whole
This might give them a shot.
one
Ooh.
stroke off? What are you trying to say?
And they'll hammer that it'll neutralize itself because they'll be getting like a 10 for every not too
God, that reads so differently if you read it different, like with different tones. Bum golf, one stroke off for each drink consumed.
No, we're not getting strokes to anybody. I
Stroke
literally
off for each
played
drink consumed. That's totally different, and the cart girl will be very upset.
this past summer. I played twice within like in a month. That was the first 2 times I played since 2012. No one's getting strokes out here, boys. I'll shoot a solid like 120 for you.
But no, that doesn't matter though, because
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. No one's getting strokes on our challenges.
Because for all you know, Baloney, maybe Jason goes up from 170 out and just throws a fucking.
I feel like all those like 330 off the tee. All those 330 off the tee
All
guaranteed.
those definitely hitting nukes.
Fucking sandbagging over here. He's probably like.
Then he's
He's
gonna
like,
watch his
John
ball like
Daly.
Oldest Garcia.
Right, just talking. I was proud of my first drive in 10 years. It got off the ground.
There you
That
go.
was all I was.
Half the battle. Half the battle, or a third of the battle.
I'll
You
get
know?
When I did
no
play, I'll
easy.
get like. I'm just looking for like one solid shot per hole. That's it.
Oh, and Baloney, if you
That's how
rewind
babies are made.
the tape, you find out why Mitch is a serial killer. It doesn't, and his explanation doesn't help his cause. But
Oh, you don't
I-
have any strange superstition? You know what? I don't give a shit.
there he is. Atta boy.
Just real quick, we are in different locations, but what if we all committed to going to a golf course on the same day, roughly at the same time? Although and me are on the West Coast, we can still document everything and kind of like basically almost make it like a playback or a whatever through our phones, and we're all playing live on the course together.
Let's go. I'll set the date. Let's go like in mid-December. You guys have to figure it out. I'm sorry.
I'll go to a simulator.
You Illinois guys got.
Oh yeah, you guys are so fucked with
There's
the weather.
literally fucking 10 simulators within like a mile and a half of
You
my
guys
house.
got to go to a real golf course.
I mean, if you're playing on a simulator, I'm playing on a simulator. I'm on a simulator.
I'm just saying, if you want to,
I'm gonna send my like PGA 2K or whatever video game is out.
I think Baloney's on something. I think you maybe because they're all online.
Oh, dude. I know where there's 2 in town right now, guaranteed. I know there's one at the Callaway Golf Center right off the strip, and like the 215 down south. So that place is actually in. We could actually. I know they have the simulator actually because
There's a there's a one called Birdies that's at like 111th and Pulaski, right where Oak Lawn and Mount Greenwood meet. That a lot of people go there to drink, but if you want to go and golf and just no one's fucking with you, there's a place. I forgot what the name of it. It's on like 100. I don't know, fucking. Let's go 132nd in Harlem. But
I have to say though, those set you up for failure though, because
I know
you can't rip a heater.
Yeah, you can.
You can't rip a heater. And I can't rip a fucking hitter. So you get a heater and I can't have a hitter. I'm fucked. I need a little bit per hole.
No, the dude on Harlem hooks me up, and they got a full
You
bar.
smoke inside?
You don't mind.
Oh,
There's a little room I can go into.
nice.
But yeah, I usually when I go there, I go during the week at like 11 in the morning when no one is there, because then you can play. When you are by yourself and you're at a simulator, you can play 18 holes in fucking 45 minutes.
I'm like tip the guy to like juice it up a little bit with the hard drive. Let's go.
It's very easy. The only thing that sucks about simulators is putting, and I've given up trying to putt on those. So when we set it up, I'm like, just give me fucking 5-foot gimmies. I know it's fucking lame, but it's like just do it 5 foot. I'm not putting this shit.
I mean, how many weeks? What do you think? What do you got? Like 2 weeks before shit gets like where you're no longer really wanting to go out on the course? Probably 2-3 weeks. Is it bad?
Honestly, as long as it's not like
Brother, man, it is October 25th. We are in global warming, though. It should not be this warm, but
It's supposed to be a warm. It's El Nino. This winter's an El Nino winter. It's supposed to be warmer than normal. Actually,
I guess. Well, it's gonna rain all day tomorrow. It's gonna rain on Friday, and then it gets all the highs are in the 40s after that. So you can go fuck yourself. I'm not playing with that shit.
no,
I want to hear. So speaking of serial killers, since we're in the bullshit section of this,
Like it.
I'll
there
take
any
a stab at it.
I got
Like the
All right,
transition.
we're about
Like
to
the
get a
transition.
confession.
Well done.
No, I do have a wild story I covered this week
Classic
though,
train.
about a killer from like a cold case, and it was like surreal. It was like a surreal story. So like this
Oh,
this
it was
case-
Kevin. He's running away.
It was a cold case since like 1981, and the guy was already in. They had the guy in jail, and he was like denying it the whole time. But like if he had another murder charge, he would have been facing the death penalty. So he needed like a plea deal for like this murder. So the prosecutor that was like trying to go after him, like the family, like was like, we'll take a reduced sentence for him, but like he has to tell us what exactly happened because it was like killing, like they wanted to know what happened to their loved one, like they didn't have any closure for it. So like if he like confesses and like tells us exactly what happened, then we'll do like a reduced plea deal, which is like almost like never happened. So they got him in like a room. And the guy was in there and he's just like very honest, like talking about how he killed this guy. And like one of the details that they had, and this is why it was cold for so long. So the guy shoots him and he realized he was like, I got to get rid of the gun. But it was his favorite gun that he shot him with. So he went back into his house, got a different gun, shot him again with that one. And then like that one, was the one he disposed him with. But like they never would have known that unless he like said it. So he was like, he shot him. He's like, oh man, this is my favorite gun. So then he had to get a new one and then like shoot him again. Is like
that's day one stuff. Everybody knows you don't use your favorite gun and go kill
Oh,
someone.
and hide the gun in your belly fat. For
I
God's
just picture this guy like going back into his house, like rummaging through his like closet, like, which gun do I want to get rid of? Yeah, it was like,
Come on.
That's
Put my
David.
writes in his diary. Got my favorite gun and killed that dude.
Everybody knows it's like going to the bar. You don't bring your favorite lighter to the bar because it's most likely gonna get stolen. You don't use your favorite gun when you're gonna go commit a homicide. That's fucking day one shit, man.
Yeah.
Come on, fucking Missouri.
Bring lye and lawn darts. God,
Yeah.
and a shovel.
Definitely a shovel. But
And rope. Drawstrings.
Any update on the cop affair?
Oh, the Keatsville sheriff, he got off.
Oh, in more ways than
Small
one.
town, he got off. Now the other small town drama, I'm
all
covering.
beat me to it.
This is Pinwheels and Ivy After Dark tonight. I love it.
Talk about stroking off.
Yep,
Next, I don't even know if I
Oh,
can get it.
got holes. Got a lot of hole talk tonight.
Dude's getting off.
Filling
Getting
those
one
holes.
good shot in every hole. Yeah.
And then Luke was here.
Well, I mean, it's tough to talk. I mean, Bulls suck, Bears suck, White Sox suck.
You're not Tyson
Tyson
Bagent
Bagent.
believer.
No.
I
He looked
just don't.
awesome. He did a good job for his first start being a rookie, but he was throwing like 10-yard like he's
Nick
not
Foles.
the
Nick
solution.
Foles.
I think
He's a Nick.
that what I tweeted exactly is happening. That he was going to have a good first game and win his first game, and people were going to be like, "Oh, this kid could be good. This kid could be the truth." Everyone gets hyped for him, and then he's going to get his dick kicked in against San Diego. Khalil Mack is literally going to put his dick in his ear.
I'm trying, guys. By the way, I'm considering this because obviously it's a 4.5 hour drive. I actually just got into it today. I'm like, I might. This is why I wouldn't golf on Sunday. Is if I decide to wake up at 9 a.m. and get a little hair in my ass and drive all over to LA 4.5 hours and get $25 tickets to go see the game because SoFi is $25 on game day if you just get on Game Time.
So
Go
much.
check and just spend it. Take Monday off. Hey, fuck it.
Even in the
I don't think I'd do that.
SoFi,
I don't think I would
there's
do that.
not a bad seat there. The way that's
I've never seen SoFi though. I want to see SoFi.
It is sick. No, it's worth it. And I was only there, but like even like in the nosebleeds, because like the way it sets up, like when you come in, you're in the upper level because it goes down like the ground. But even the upper level, like the nose, like phenomenal view. The screen, like they have like the fastest Wi-Fi in the world for a while. They did anyway. It's well worth it.
I want to check it out. Yeah, my buddy went 2 or 3 weeks ago for the Niners game, whenever that was. And he's like, we bought game day tickets for $24. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, I bought it like at 9 a.m. that day. I'm like, well, I can just get in the car.
Well, it's funny. Like LA is still, if you go to Universal Studios, they have a Raiders pro shop, but they don't have a Chargers one and they don't have a Rams one. Like the Raiders are definitely still the most popular team around that area. So it doesn't surprise me. So
It's Inglewood. It's always up to no good.
It's never bad to
we
go.
get one of the donuts that Iron Man was at. What's that place called?
Oh, we have one here. They're one of our clients. What's their call? Randy's.
The forums down there. Yeah.
They have to chain their donut to their sign now. People kept stealing it.
You know what else I really fucking hate? I really fucking hate Thursday night football. I fucking hate it. It
Who's
is
this
a
week? Is it Bills and
it is a fan. That's why I hate it even more because it's a fantasy killer. Your studs in your fantasy team lineup always suck on Thursday nights, and
I don't know. That's not true. A couple weeks ago, I thought I was in for a fucking win. So who was it on Thursday night? Who was it 2 weeks ago? Oh no, Justin Fields on Thursday night, right? God dang it! I had him, Moore, and Cole Kmet in that massive game. So I went into the weekend like already at 100 points between three dudes.
That's fine.
And
I knew it was over.
I scored 160 that week, which is high. Obviously, 100 wins probably the week. And the dude I played scored like 148. So I had like literally survived thanks to DJ Moore.
Thursday night football sucks. Dudes get hurt because of it. It's always the under always hits. It's not entertaining at all because it's always dog shit football, and it's always like opposite. So yeah, that actually plays. It's opposite because the Bears blow, and then Thursday night they play good and get you 100 points, and then Josh Allen's probably going to go fucking for 115 yards on Thursday night with a touchdown and 2 interceptions.
It's
Gabe
too
Davis-
much.
Gabe
Especially
Davis-
the year they had Saturday night football too. Just give me Monday night. That's all.
It's only like the last 2 weeks of the season, isn't it? Because they're like trying
Yeah,
to.
but it gets annoying. Like
I think they're going to do.
I'll
They're
up the
doing
college
Friday
football.
night football. The Friday after Thanksgiving.
Really?
I think that's on Amazon. I think.
And
Yeah,
you're absolutely right, Missy. That's all I do on Thursday night football is I bet the under. But
Oh, last week you would have lost.
I
Yeah.
did lose.
And 2 weeks with the Bears, you would have lost too.
You're still up. I can tell you right now.
So in the last 2 weeks, it's pattern.
I would
can
bet. I
tell
would
you-
bet this Thursday's under Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay should have lost to the Bears if the Bears
Yes.
had any good.
What
coaches.
is the
And Tampa Bay they suck. The Bills. The only thing is the Bills defense is kind of trash too.
Bills have
That's
had 2 bad losses.
yeah? Like what is that?
And they should have been 3 because they played like shit against.
I don't.
Two. San
Yeah,
Francisco.
they definitely should have lost. that
Pretty
game.
has a concussion. Fuck, that's not good.
I
Oh God, 43.
I don't see Tampa
Oh.
Bay scoring a lot, and I actually think that Buffalo is going to try to prove a point.
Yeah, I like 43. I'll take over.
Oh, it's all the way down to
Under.
43.
I
That
can
was
see
great.
that game being
I'll
like.
take that shit all day long. Actually, I'm happy. It's
I
40.
can see that game being like 27-10.
I think game's gonna be about like a 30-20 with some charity points at the end because they have
Baker Mayfield sucks.
say Baker Mayfield charity points. By the way, I remember last year Baker Mayfield on a Thursday night with the Carolina Panthers killed me in fantasy in the playoffs. He racked up a huge game against.
Playoffs.
It was like a who did he beat? Was it the Saints? No, I mean he thrashed on Thursday Night Football. So he may be the Bears reverse. So at least with the over, you don't have to worry about it.
What are you guys? What kind of fantasy leagues are you guys in? Are you guys doing 2 quarterbacks, an extra slot, or an
Two,
extra flex? I mean,
I'm
2
pretty
quarterback
straightforward.
PPR.
Yeah, in my big league that this is
Standard.
year number 18 for, we got rid of the kicker. We do 2 flags.
Oh, we're talking about doing that in ours. Actually, is it cool? You like it?
It's way better. It's way better. It's way better.
Yeah, I'm in a 2 quarterback league, PPR, regular like positions, no defense, and then the other one is standard scoring with an extra flex.
Yeah,
Hmm.
getting rid of the kicker is great because no longer you lose because a kicker on Monday Night Football kicked 4 field goals. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
So it just becomes a second flex.
No, that's the whole part of it.
Yeah, that's the you would
I like
draft
it.
your
That's
position.
part of it. Yeah, I mean, you could
You get a kick with it.
thing about like a
I think a few years ago my league it was PPR, but it was standard all positions, and then the only thing we get added was another flex. I like it.
That's us.
I
Yeah,
think it's
I like. I mean, if Baloney's my kicker,
I don't like the
yeah.
2 quarterback. Leagues.
getting rid of
I don't either.
defense. I like having defense.
Yeah, no, I don't like getting rid of defense either.
Have you
I like
guys ever
having
done a
I
vampire
used to
league?
be in a league where you had to draft defensive players. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's too much.
That's really heavy. Have you guys ever done a
that was so hard. It was an auction draft league too.
Oh, jeez.
A lot more strategy involved, but like that was a hard league.
nerd? Have you guys done a vampire league though? That's actually kind of interesting.
No,
What
I've
is a
never done
vampire
that.
league?
So vampire league is you get 12 teams, 10 teams draft, right? And then when the draft is over, those teams lock for the season. And then the only 2 players that can actually pick up anybody are the guys that are the vampires, the 2 guys or the 2 players. So they can pick up everyone on free agency. So you're basically fucked into free agency. But if you beat someone in a head-to-head matchup, you get to take one of their starters and replace them with one of your starters. So like over the course of the season, you might be like 0-4, and then you snake somebody, you beat somebody somehow, they have a bad week, you take their like best quarterback, and all of a sudden your team is like better than them. And then all of a sudden, if you do well, you can keep moving up. But it's really fun for the vampires. Everybody else is just like lineup playing. And if someone gets hurt, you're totally screwed.
That seems. How do you determine who's the vampires?
Random drawing. I'd never gotten to be a vampire. I always wanted to be the vampire.
I don't think I'd like that very much.
It requires very little work, but I won that one.
Well, like that, yeah, that's the thing though.
Survival fantasy. That's a good one too.
I can't do auction leagues. I don't have the attention span.
You know, I'm
Yeah,
leaving
always.
that to like, 17th century America. No more auctions for me either.
This
Yeah.
would be tough too. I want to start a Survivor Fantasy Football League next year where you redraft every week, but once you start someone, you can't use them for the rest of the year.
Whoa. I'm in.
Nah,
right.
I don't know.
We could start we could start it next week. Baloney. We could start it from week 8.
You won't do an auction draft, but you'll do a survivor draft and you'll do a vampire league.
No, I don't. I'm not doing this Survivor draft either.
And that.
Rival draft. Again, you're just paying attention. I'm just not paying attention to that goddamn defense. Who the fuck? I'm not going individual players. Shit, that's too
Well,
much.
that was the one year I did that league. It was.
Oof.
It was
So weirdly enough, I don't mind the IDP leagues, the individual defensive player leagues.
I didn't either, actually. Like it wasn't as hard as you'd think.
No.
Usually linebackers would get
I
you.
mean, especially if you're in one where you just like draft 2 of them. I mean, the league I was in, you had to draft like 3 linebackers, 3 DBs. Like,
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
That's,
usually only
That's too much.
It's funny too. The DBs you want are usually because like you get like a Jalen Ramsey or a lockdown guy, they would get you no points because they'd hardly get
Right.
any targets.
they
You
don't throw
want
into him. Yeah.
scrubs. So I had like
Yeah.
Kyle Fuller one year, and he had a ton of tackles because they'd always pick on him, and so that was always great.
Wouldn't you just target like defensive ends though? Rack up
So
the
you have to have
sacks?
two defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 2 DBs, which
Yeah,
Okay,
is-
I'll just-
limited with who you can take.
but usually the
Yeah.
safeties were the most valuable because you're getting the tackles. out.
Yeah. all
I
that
wanna
matters
do the-
is
what's the
how
one?
it scores.
What do they call the ones the weekly ones where you basically that's the is that the where you have the budget and everyone has the same budget? What is that? That's
It's an auction league.
that's the auction. But no, I'm saying like weekly, like what DraftKings does, where you like it's
Oh,
literally
That's like daily
one
fantasy, they call it. I'm pretty
yeah
sure.
the DFS right DFS that's what it's called right or DFL or whatever. That's banned here. We can't play it, and I would totally rock that too. We don't have Fangraphs here or DraftKings.
You don't have
Oh, they're hot-
Fangraphs?
Their DraftKings office is right down the road. Hey guys, what's up?
That's
You
so weird.
are illegal here.
That's still super weird to me.
Yep. Like sometimes so you'll test this. I'll text Zoe because I'm like, God dang it, I can't. I want to bet like
You can't do like
they
player
have so many
props,
cool
right?
combinations too. Yeah, like I'd like to be able to pick some random ass dude at the bottom of the bench and bet on him, but I can't here because the books aren't putting that shit out. Especially online. Yep. We actually have the worst betting system now in Vegas because the gaming control board wants to protect our gaming here, which I get it, but I mean it's a loss.
Well, they saw what Zoe's been doing this football season. They're like, we don't want that smoke.
Well, for the
Killing it.
casinos too, sports betting. I mean, I know Ian, I think it was Ian was talking about too. It's actually a loss for the casinos for the most part. The idea is getting someone in their butts in the casino so that they can actually collect their cash, but they have to walk out. So when walking out, guess what you're going to possibly do on the way out? You might drop a $5 here into a slot machine. They get you in there, and that's why they bury it in the back of the casino too. Is you got to go in cash, and you got to walk back out the long exit. And with DFS or not DFS, but like DraftKings and stuff, there's such volume that they make a profit because of the volume of bets now. I think because in Vegas you've got a limited amount of bets because not everybody's in the state of Nevada. So I think it's interesting, but it sucks.
Although the heater has ceased. I am fucking colder than Arnold
no.
Schwarzenegger's dick in Batman Forever. Like I am
Sweaty Mitch and Ice
Icy.
Cube Zoe.
icy cold right now.
Well, maybe it's
Icy
time to
cold.
jump back on. Maybe the
Yeah.
hot streak is.
Oh no,
is starting.
I'm still going. Like,
No, I'm saying
I'm batting through
me.
it.
But we'll
I'm gonna-
share the
yeah.
picks now. Maybe we're over the cold streak, and now a new hot streak is coming.
I don't know. I haven't looked. I've still been doing the props, but baseball fucking destroyed
Some
me.
of those, I didn't read it, but I saw like the Schefter thing, or was it Rappaport? The Falcons just not saying about Bijan Robinson that he was sick, and then he just
Right.
didn't play.
Yeah, headaches. It was like what's his name with the migraines? From the Vikings, Percy Harvin.
Percy Harvin?
Where you just
Is
get
that what it was?
game day, he would just get headaches, and his were migraines. But I don't know what's going on with Robinson. But he was a late scratch, and they got obviously shit. Their coaches he was talking about like league politics and shit in his press conference today.
Yeah, that was such an awful press conference. Dude, he looked like an idiot.
Oh man.
I wanted to ask you guys this wide range of opinions here. Do you guys want Jim Harbaugh for the Bears?
Hell yeah, I do.
Yeah, I think I'd fuck with that.
All right, Kevin.
Sure, why not? I'm
Okay, what puts you off?
Everywhere he goes, he wins.
It feels like well, no, he's. I mean,
Everywhere he goes, that man wins football games.
That guy doesn't win championships.
NFC championship.
How many titles does Jim Harbaugh have as a head coach?
Doesn't matter. The resume speaks for itself.
It kind of matters when you're.
If this is the move they're going to make, it's about winning goddamn Super Bowls. So for me, no. In Michigan, I don't mind. Look, you know what? Go for it. That's fine. If they hired him, I would not be like pissed. Obviously, does he want to leave Michigan? Probably not. Can he have someone videotape someone on the sidelines and steal their signs? I'm not sure. But you've got all the shit that's going on with him. There are so many other minds in football that Bears fans tend to kind of like regress to the mean and go towards the names that we know. We want to
follow up.
We'll go Bill Cowher. We're going to go Jim Harbaugh.
So is there a guy you want?
I agree with that, but Jim Harbaugh is, like, objectively speaking, one of the best football coaches there is.
Bruce Bochy.
He wins everywhere he goes.
Who do you want, Kevin? Is there a guy or a couple guys?
I don't. Like, I honestly, I mean, I know it's not Everfluss. God dang, this is bad. This is historically bad. But I think that there are other opportunities out there. You know, did you guys see the stuff John Gruden about possibly being the offensive coordinator for the Steelers next year? That's weird. I saw that popped up here in Vegas because people were talking about it. But I don't know if there's like really, is there, I mean, I feel like Brian Daboll was like the closest thing to like what should have been great, but obviously not that great. And we saw what happened with what's his name from Green Bay. We thought he was going to be good. Went to the Broncos, one and done. We're seeing, I mean, there's, you know what, you can't be a winning head coach unless you have complete control over your roster, like guys like Belichick and what's his name in the Walrus down in KC, Andy Reid. So if you don't have that, you were literally beholden to whoever your GM is. By the way, I love that commercial where he's like, he uses his fingers to walk towards the chicken nuggies. Yeah, and fantastic. But I think that unless you're a coach, so I mean, they'd have to bring someone in that gets, but you have the Gruden risk where he cratered the Raiders. So it doesn't come without the risk. But, you know, when you got a guy like Andy Reid, you got a guy like, again, Belichick, those guys can actually do it. But where do you go from that? Like, where do the Bears pick from that? Because, again, if your GM sucks, it doesn't matter who's your head coach. You're not going to win. Matt Canada, please. Good call, Alex.
The reason why I wouldn't mind Harbaugh at all is his history with mobile quarterbacks. He has a very good history of working that in. I think Harbaugh with Poles would be able to put together a team. So I wouldn't be upset about it. But Alex brings up the main point of all of it in the comments. I doubt Poles gives Harbaugh the control that he wants.
Right.
Well, and it would take a lot of money.
I mean,
to buy him from Michigan right now because he's getting.
Also, let's not forget Harbaugh's last year with the Niners. He was 8-8. He had a mobile quarterback.
Better than anything the Bears have done in a decade.
But he took.
That was his lowest point of 500 season.
That's why he went to Michigan because he.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's his lowest point. That's like been the Bears. Like, what was Matt Nagy that bullshit year they made it to the playoffs? Like 9-7.
Yeah, it was 8. Yeah,
I see.
That was like the high point of the Bears.
I see
where the defense carried them in 2018.
I see 3 playoff losses and 3 playoff appearances. That's what I see.
I do think we get into we get into a situation where, like we've been saying, Chicago sports is just such shit that when you do talk about a Harbaugh and we say the accomplishments, it is a lot better than anything that we've seen in decades. But then it still falls kind of short. It's like, well, is he actually that great?
DJ Moore's an MVP, by the way. That's not. It's no longer a Mitchell Trubisky award. DJ Moore was an MVP award winner this year now too. Just sorry, make sure he gets his MVP club love. Sorry.
Well, I think it's time, folks.
Oh,
by the way, we still have to talk about your video race live stream, Zoe.
Oh yeah, we got to figure that out.
The what?
Not this Saturday.
Zoe still has to watch a NASCAR race.
That's right.
True. Oh, I thought he weaseled his way out because he watched Chicago.
No.
That didn't count.
Yeah. This is a public event right here. This is a public forum. We need input.
Well, see, now there's only 2 races left, and both of them aren't going to be that good. I think we got to get them a good one. I think we got to line up a date for next year.
Not kick the can down the road. Let's not kick can. Oh,
No, because the next one's Martinsville. I mean, it is the final.
When is it?
Yeah, it's the final race to get into the championship 4. So it is a cutoff race, which will be intense. And then the next one's the championship race.
When are the next 2 races?
Next 2 Sundays.
Well, the championship race is just 4 cars.
No, they all race, but there's only 4 cars in the championship.
That
field.
would be great
That
if it was
kinda
just the 4
sucks
cars.
because,
Well, is it? It should be
That's
just
just
3
NASCAR.
cars,
everyone has an unwritten
like in Cars
rule.
1.
You know? The championship stinks because everyone has like an unwritten rule where like the 4 guys in the championship, they kind of just like let them go. So it basically is a 4-car.
Oh
race.
shit!
What?
Well, wait, what was
Suck it.
I think Baloney's messing with us.
Nope. I don't think he is. I think they lost the rights to their shit. The guy said it was a concern.
Well, we'll just do a live stream and we'll have the NASCAR and like the big screen TV in the back.
Yeah, and
By the way-
then we'll put an NBA game on.
How has NASCAR not done like a Cars themed like broadcast that they done for NFL?
That's really
That would be such an easy thing there.
They
That's
would
really
need it. They needed
They
a-
can have
Do it.
Guido and the little dude going pit stop.
Oh
all that
wait,
stuff
it's
and,
Comcast versus Disney. Never mind.
oh,
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's right.
I would watch the shit out of that race.
I think that would be rad.
Hey, you missed
That's
the
cool.
Do they have any races on
Red Rock
ABC
race
ever?
at Homestead, Miami this past weekend. Let me
Hold
tell you.
on, Mitch.
Those
That
are
Toy
good.
Story shit was fun.
Vegas would have been a good one for you to watch.
Ugh.
Kansas
Oh,
races are
bitch.
good. What you should do is next
That's
year take a trip down to Kansas. We can play some golf. You can watch a race. Make a weekend.
You know,
And
I've
you go to
always
bed at
wanted.
9 p.m.
I've always wanted to go to Kansas.
Said no.
Really, it's just outside of Kansas.
Ever?
Just like a. It's
I will say though,
Kansas
playing the Indy Brickyard course impressed me a lot. I don't think you were on when I played that, Mitch, the show, but
I saw the photos and whatnot. It's beautiful.
the pure size of this place.
It's massive. Oh yeah, I was there for the
They
500.
were saying you could fit like 12 football fields or some shit in there. Like it is huge. And then there was a Porsche endurance race going on when I was
Yeah,
playing.
IMSA. Yeah.
And these dudes are flying. And when you're, right there where you can spit on the cars and you're seeing these things fly, you're like, holy shit, man. It's like a different vibe than watching it on TV. I guess
That's
it's kind of
why-
like hockey. You got to go to a person.
Well, that's how I kind of got hooked on it after going to my first one because I was the same way. I always thought it was boring too. But like that, like you said, the size of it's incredible, and that's why the Indy 500 this year is so cool. It's the first time I've ever been to those because like picture that facility and then like all the stands surrounding it, like
350,000 people, although.
it's
This
insane.
pitch holds 300 and they sell out every year.
It's and they sell more than 350,000 just because while the race is going, they also have a concert going in the middle of the infield. They call it the Snake Pit, so it'll be everyone watching the race and then just everyone jamming out at the concert. So like you'll randomly be watching fireworks shooting off and shit.
Ninth tee box or the 8th green is in the Snake Pit, and then then there's the like halfway house, and then I'm sorry, in the 9th tee box, the Snake Pit is right behind you. I saw the big sign. And all that shit.
I think all racing crowds always impress me. Just the amount of people that is in every race or that go to all the races. It's crazy.
350,000 people.
Why the hell is it?
Think about that, dude. That's insane.
That's like what more than 3 times of Michigan.
That's a whole White Sox season.
Oh come on, they get a million sometimes.
It's wild. Even if you're not a race fan, that's like one of those events you got to go to at least.
Yeah, and I mean I got through probably about 12 holes before it started raining, but the problem is it was a shotgun start. So my last 5 holes were the holes inside the track. So it was pouring rain. These cars are fucking flying, and it is pouring rain. And of course, I'm playing with 2 guys that are local, and they're telling me all about slick tires, tire this, tire. And I'm like, guys, I finally told them, like, guys, I don't give a shit. Cars go fast, they loud. That's where I'm at right now. Like, I don't care about the slicks and the different treads and all that shit. Like, I get it, dude. That's really cool. Like, I know I can talk about different golf club, like, shafts and club faces and, graphite versus all this shit. And, like,
We've done it. We've talked about holes. We've talked about strokes. We've talked about shafts
but
and
these
rubber.
dudes, I mean, bro, you're starting to have drinks with all these guys that are all from like the area and shit, and they're all telling you like, I saw my first pair of titties right over there. And you're just like, awesome, dude.
Woo!
Awesome. So you want me to call you on Monday to set up an appointment, or it's just
My
like,
sister's never let me down. She's the one that showed me.
but no, it made me feel like
Yeah, Mitch.
very
Media.
small, just how big this place. Like, it
It's
just
a
kept
cool
going, dude.
facility.
It
And
just
like
kept
it's
going.
the whole town. Like I mean, the town is called Speedway for a reason. That's literally.
Mhm.
A lot of drugs.
Yes,
But-
where they deliver them.
Mitch, I looked. Maybe if we hit the Queen of Hearts raffle, we'll go play the Speedway. It's $200 to play.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
I'm down.
whoa,
I'm
whoa! Those funds are already committed to Las Vegas.
Oh,
Oh, no,
Bridget.
that's after they hit.
Oh, of course.
That's after we hit the bet in Vegas.
See,
Oh,
yeah.
there's
oh.
a NASCAR race coming there
Sweet.
again.
Take
Next year,
everyone's-
it's gonna be racing the oval.
Mhm.
Podcast money. Oh,
So-
we could create like a skins game for the podcast golfing thing. I'm sorry, I just thought about that. People can donate for each skin, so every hole is an opportunity for each podcast to possibly win, as opposed to just full strokes. Sorry,
Kevin,
I don't
have
know.
you figured out your
right now.
couple Halloween costume?
Yeah.
I think
Sorry.
so. I mean, I'm wearing a sweatshirt that might indicate that I might be Alan from Barbie, and then my fiance wants to be
No idea
Crazy
what that
Barbie.
is.
You should. It's a great
There's
movie.
different kinds of Barbies.
I can't do any costumes from Killers of the Flower Moon, which was fantastic. So fantastic that in a 72-hour period, I saw this film twice.
I
That's
want to go
nice.
see that movie, but
7
dude,
hours.
I don't have
Scorsese is my favorite director.
3 hours to sit in the
Fantastic.
theater though, man.
Oh no,
I
it's
just-
3.5. So 3.5.
I don't have that. Like,
I
I'm
know.
gonna have to
That's
wait
where
till
the
it comes
holdup's
out.
been coming for me too. Yeah, it was either
Oh my
seeing them or
God.
golfing today. So that's
Baloney.
So I know Kevin's the big movie guy, but so Mitch and Zoe, what's like the longest movie that you guys have seen?
Oh, I
Probably
sat
The
through The Irishman.
Yeah.
That was a
I've seen
pretty
Nice.
long one. Lawrence of
Seen it.
Arabia was a long one. I'm a big film buff, though. I appreciate film
Okay,
history.
okay.
I'm willing to sit through long ones.
Zoe,
Yeah,
longest
I'm
movie.
willing. Probably Irishman. How long was that bitch?
3 and
Like-
20. Yeah,
Yeah,
How
Irishman.
long was Endgame?
about 6 minutes less. About 2 hours,
Yeah,
45 minutes, probably 250
Yep.
maybe. Something
yeah. I
like
mean, I don't. If a movie's good, I'll sit there all fucking day. But
Goodfellas is my favorite
got-
movie. That's over 3 hours.
I
Yeah,
got the
Goodfellas.
recliner seats. If you're gonna do it, do
Goodfellas
recliners.
isn't over 3 hours. Is
No,
it?
that's not 3 hours.
Nah.
It's 3
Oh,
hours.
you're
if
thinking
you're,
of Casino?
you're watching it on FX where they edit out all the cuss words and have commercial breaks.
Yeah.
Where's your 3 hours? But
It's over. It's over 2.5. Though.
it's 2.5. Yeah. It's not. Same with Casino too. Like he doesn't make short movies. But you know what? Especially with this film, I'll tell you this: the pacing with the editing is fantastic. That it doesn't feel like you're in a 3.5-hour movie. It's incredibly engaging. Where you honestly in a 3.5-hour movie, I have old man bladder, man. I didn't go piss once. Both 7 hours that I was in the theater, and we also again it's Prohibition era, so I recommend this to anybody that goes to go see this weekend. Maybe smuggle in a pint of with you and your friends. Smuggle in a pint of whiskey and share the whiskey during the movie because 3.5 hours is a long time. Whether you're eating an edible or not, the edible's going to wear out by the time it's over. But we brought a little whiskey and we kind of we passed it back and forth with the guys, and it was kind of nice. We kind of we would go to the bar and get like bar drinks too, but we were just doing swigs. And every time that they would do a swig of whiskey in the movie, because again, part of it's Prohibition, and they've got like bootleggers that are some of the bad characters. It was kind of fun. It was actually a day. It was kind of it is a day event, but you just can't talk. You can just
Mitch, favorite movie all time.
Goodfellas.
Ooh.
Goodfellas.
Okay, good for you.
I love that movie. I think it's really well directed, and it's like what Fitz is saying. Despite like the time, it moves really well. So that's hands down my.
Zoe, favorite movie all time.
Snatch.
I like. We were talking about The Gentleman the other day with Guy Ritchie, same obviously director, and that's an underrated movie. If you haven't seen The Gentleman,
Shit, man! I just went on playback, NBA or WNBA. That's it.
well, that's over because the Las Vegas Aces are the
Well,
champions.
I was wondering about their partnerships. Kevin, favorite movie all time.
So I have two. I'll be honest. The
Fair,
first one,
fair.
the first one's the sentimental one, which is The Natural, and
Okay.
then when it comes to films, it's actually kind of a close tie.
Seven Samurai.
No, I juggle back and forth between Road to Perdition and Garden State. by Zach Braff. Those two kind of sit with
Okay.
me. That's kind of like it's almost like a revolving 1, 2, 3, and then everything else is kind of stunted to the back. But I got to
I
see.
love me Quentin Tarantino,
Oh.
Inglourious Bastards, number
Good.
Oh, that's so
1.
Yo, Donnie.
His last film is going to be
Teddy fucking
fantastic. He's
Morgan.
doing his last film right now, if you didn't know that, and he's casting like he is pulling out all like
All the heavy hitters.
all our cult classic like favorite actors that are kind of washed up. He's going to make them not washed up at least for one more film.
Tarantino is good. I mean, you can't go wrong. And I also kind of like his thing where he's only making, what is it, 10?
Yeah,
This
he's
is 10th
gonna
one,
show
right?
10, and that's it. And then he's like, well, I don't want to get like his explanation for it too, because I think he's kind of like in his prime right now. Like,
Let's just produce.
Hollywood was fantastic, but
He'll produce. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Whose feet is
he'll
he
direct
into this?
it.
but he was like, yeah, he's like, I don't want to ever get to the point where I'm washed off. He's like, I'm gonna make 10. They're all gonna be good, and that's how people are gonna remember me.
How good is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Fuck.
That movie's awesome.
I've only seen it once. I gotta watch that one again.
It's so much better the more you watch.
The more you watch it, yeah.
Yeah, and it's kind of like Goodfellas too. Like Goodfellas, you could look, you're flipping through the channels. Goodfellas on. It's like Step Brothers kind of too. You're like, fuck it, I'm not moving. I'm good. I'm here. I'm staying, and you stay. Like with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, if that's ever something that pops up, I'm like, not moving. This is great, especially the scene where Brad Pitt's on the roof fixing the antenna, and then Charles Manson walks up to the gate. Like, and God, Brad Pitt in that movie is. I mean, both DiCaprio too. They're both exceptional in that.
Well, I was about to say, whose movies do you like better, Brad Pitt or DiCaprio?
Ooh, I don't know. Bullet Train was fantastic, but I also really love The Aviator.
DiCaprio. Yeah, I like DiCaprio a little bit.
Revenant.
Speaking underrated Scorsese movie,
Scrapes.
Shutter Island is a very good one.
Yep.
DiCaprio.
Another Scorsese. He uses light as a character.
Yeah.
Nerd stuff. Sorry. Light is actually a character in that film.
So, any takes? What's brewing up in that head?
Oh, nothing.
Cars 3
No.
and Nightmare Before Christmas. They're showing that in the theater here, bro. Right
Yeah.
now.
All that's happening in my head is skeletons dancing, going, "This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween."
All right, favorite scary movie, go. Bam.
I'm not a scary. I can't watch scary movies because I laugh.
This is Halloween. This is
Like
Halloween.
nervous laughter? You just think it's funny?
No, so I'm
Who's
Kinda
the real serial killer? Like,
I'm kind of wired fucked up. Where like if I broke my arm right now, I would just start laughing. Like when I'm
Okay,
in
all right,
pain,
all right.
I start laughing. And the more intense the pain is, like the more the laughter gets.
Oh, yeah, so I'm weird for writing out my full name on a scorecard. Jeez.
And you still are weirder than that. That makes you way more of a serial killer. But
And laughing over a broken arm?
Says
Get
the serial killer.
it's
Ain't
just
no way.
I just
Every
laugh, dude.
accusation is an admission.
When I flipped the golf cart and ripped a bunch of skin off my right hand and broke all the bones in my right hand, I just popped up and started laughing and wiggled my fingers and wiggled my toes, made sure I wasn't crippled, and walked away.
Did the golf
But
cart?
the golf cart was fucked. The golf cart
You
was
did that in a
completely
golf cart?
trashed.
Like,
Yeah, so
speed.
well, it was in Florida, so everything's a gated community. And we were at this girl on the girls' golf team was throwing a party at one of the villa things in a private golf course. And we were there, we're drinking, everybody's doing the thing or whatever, and like 5 of my homies show up and they call from the parking lot. And the only way to get from the villa to the parking, or from the parking lot to the villa, is via golf cart. Like when you rent the villa, you get a golf cart. And it's one of those ones with the back seat on it, so you're supposed to only sit 4 people, a driver and 3 passengers. Well, the girl whose place it was insisted on driving. She told me I had to come because these were my guys, so I was riding shotgun. And then we picked up
Get a
5
comfort
dudes
again.
on the back. So they're all everybody's standing up, hanging,
All that weight.
and it's pitch black out. And the golf cart obviously has weak ass headlights. And we were going down the hill, and as soon as like we get towards the bottom, the headlights peer up a little bit and reveal the massive sand trap right in front of us.
oh,
So she grabs the wheel and goes
Oh, that's not gonna work.
all the weight, flipped the cart, and so I just, I guess, braced my arm for impact and skid on the ground, and I popped up, and my arm is just covered in blood, dude. Like I didn't even know what was going on. It was so dark, and like I said, I got up and I wiggled my fingers, I wiggled my toes, and go, "Is everybody all right?" And I got a bunch of like, good, good, good. And then I looked up and I saw sirens coming our way, and I was like, "All right, I'll meet you guys back at the house." So I walked back. We get back to the house, and my roommate at the time looked at my arm and he goes, "Bro, I can see your fucking bones. Like, where's your?" We said, "Where's your skin, dude?" I'm like, "It's
well,
on
that
the
reminds me
pa-"
of the end of
I'm like, "It's on the
Gerald's game.
it's on the pavement back there somewhere, and so the ice, the tub that they were using for the cooler, they made me sit there and stick my arm in there.
Yeah, it's kind of
And
like a
then-
tooth or if you lose a
And
limb.
then finally, like when it got like numb enough, they brought me right to the ER. But by the time we got, like, I'll never forget, like 5 minutes away from the emergency room, that's when I really started to sober up. I was really, really drunk this whole time. And it really started, and I felt it, and then I just started laughing, and then I went in, and yeah, so that's why I got all
So-
the road rash and the broken fingers and all that shit. But
So you have literally out drunk storied Missy Carroll permanently, unless she has seen her own bone.
oh, buddy, that is the very, 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 very
That's
tiny,
tame.
tiny tip of the iceberg. That's why it's funny, man. I know I'm old and washed now, but I could probably do an hour show every week just telling stories about stupid shit that has happened to me.
You got to put that
Oh,
behind the
yeah.
bill.
I mean, her age? Come on now.
Yeah.
It's not that
I
hard.
mean, I should still be in. I mean, technically, I should still be in jail in Georgia right now. But anyways,
Give me 2 weeks.
that stupid dog sniffed the wrong can. Anyways,
I had to go through customs with a giant knife in Cabo last year. That was weird.
I think this is a good time to bring back everyone's favorite segment.
Ah, yes.
You've all been waiting. I gotta find the video.
Vanderpump Rules.
It's
Oh,
been
wait,
so
Yeah,
long.
I got it.
Do you have your
All
Vanderpump chart tonight? We got to fill that in too.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's back. The return of NASCAR Minute with NASCAR Minute.
Alrighty, this week we were in Homestead, Miami. There's only 3 races left if you're including this one. The week before was in Vegas. So that's the first big one of the round of 8 because it goes from round of 8 to the championship 4. So if you win the first race in the round of 8, then you get 2 weeks to prepare for the championship. So Kyle Larson wins at Vegas. He's got a huge advantage. Last year, Joey Logano won Vegas, and like the next 2 weeks, he just showed up with like a random ass car because they were doing like all their work for Phoenix in the championship. Kyle Larson, he's wired a little bit different. They were like, you know what? We're going to try and win this race too. We're preparing for the championship. We're going out there. We're going to win this thing. Well, Larson, like the way you run well at Homestead is you got to run right up against the wall, like 2 inches like off of it. And no one does it better than Kyle Larson. They call it the Larson line for a reason. He just rips the high line. And of course, he's fast. So he's out there dominating. We'll pick it up at the second stage.
Oh,
He's
what?
got a huge gap. Everyone in the field is like, boy, this is tough. He kicked their ass last week. Well, he didn't really kick out their ass. He won the race. But now he's kicking our ass this week. It's going to be 2 wins. He doesn't even need to win. But he used up his stuff way too early. His tires start degrading. Ryan Blaney runs him down. He'll take stage 2. So it's going to set us up for like a pretty good finish here in stage 3. So Larson, he's still out in the lead. Shut up.
Did I get you? Did you? Are you
I
off
was
your
looking
game?
at the comments, I was looking at the comments. Yeah, dog. But anyway, the stage 3. Stage
Yeah, I
3,
got him.
that one.
We have a winner.
Damn it! All right, that one actually. did.
Confetti falls.
Finally got him. It's been over a year, but we finally got him.
Anyway,
Celebrate his
so
new name.
stage 3 starts. Larson's back near the lead. Blaney passes him, so they're coming down pit road for the final stage here. Blaney goes into pit. Larson's behind him. He's trying to close up space, so he kind of just sends it in there. But then he has to check up because they have a pit road speed, and Blaney's already like right at the cutoff line for like pit road. So he has to check up, but he doesn't have enough time to avoid him. He's about to run in the back of Ryan Blaney. He doesn't want to wreck Ryan Blaney because Blaney's in the playoffs. He's already locked in. So he kind of swerves to the right. He hits the sand barrels that are like right in front of the wall because they have like a wall for pit road. But if you hit that head on, it would just kind of like jackknife your car. So they put these like little sand barrels in there. So he like hard right, hits the sand barrels. They explode. It's kind of a cool video if you look at it. Just like stands like everywhere. So now they got a big caution. They have to red flag the races. They're like workers are out there like sweeping up all this sand and everything. Race restarts. So Larson's out now after ripping the high line. He's running well the whole race. So now back up in the front of the pack, we got Denny Hamlin near the front, William Byron. So they restart. And then all of a sudden, JJ Yaley in the back, he's in his Israel car that was like sponsored by, he's like, it actually was like it had like the Israeli thing. But so he spins out, he hits the wall, another caution comes out. So now things start heating up because now Blaney and Hamlin, they start going like toe to toe. And Hamlin just starts racing the piss out of Ryan Blaney. So he's like trying to squeeze the air off of him. He's like running right off of his door. He's not giving him much space. And meanwhile, though, they're racing the piss out of each other. They're in the front row. William Byron's like, thank you very much. I'm going to pass you guys. Christopher Bell is in the back and said, thank you very much. I'm going to pass you guys. So Ryan Blaney's pissed off. He's like, dude, you're an asshole. So Denny Hamlin, he's still like running him hard. He tries to do a little slide job move, but his steering breaks. He slaps the wall. Blaney's on the radio like, haha, serves you right, you dickhead. So now he's out. So another contender out. They got to do another restart. Byron takes the lead. Willie B's up there. So now Christopher Bell, he's trying to run him down. He does run him down. He'll make the pass. So now it's just between Byron and Blaney. Blaney's got a faster car. Bell's trying to pull away. He goes low. He'll pass Byron. So now he's only got a couple laps. He's trying to run down Bell. Winner of this gets an automatic spot in the championship. But Bell hangs on to win the race at Vegas. Blaney left out. And now points are all shaken up here because Denny Hamlin, he was a favorite. He hit the wall because he's being a dickhead, riding Ryan Blaney too hard. So now he's going to be fighting for his life at Martinsville next week. So big implications. Christopher Bell, he's in your championship 4. That is your. Oh, also because Alex told me to mention that Jesse Love got signed to RCR. No one actually cares about that because that's like the lower series. But Jesse Love going to RCR. Cool name.
I started drinking at 6 a.m. and we're here now. I don't know what time it is, but I'm rolling deep, and those cars are going real fast and real left, son. They're going fast and left. Fuck yeah! I started drinking at
He is the best prospect in the sport, but we talk about Cup in the NASCAR minute. We don't have time to go through trucks and Xfinity and Orca. That's why.
What series is Frankie Nunez in?
He's in the Arca Menard series.
He's supposed to
That's
fucking
like,
knock in the middle.
That's like if you had to do an equivalent, that's like low A.
It's Michael Jordan hitting with Birmingham Barons.
Truck
Does this
series
guy,
is like
does
double A.
this
Is
guy
this
still
guy
race?
still around?
Yeah, BJ McLeod's still around. He actually just sold his charter, so he will not be around next year. So
Well, he needed the money because
Isn't that guy Miley Cyrus's dad? Oh,
Who?
sorry.
BJ McLeod?
Never mind. You weren't born yet. Never mind. Bad joke. It hurts my
Billy Ray Cyrus.
Looks like Billy Ray Cyrus to me, like except like with straighter hair.
All right, you guys got anything else?
I mean, well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Shout out to my guy Yumper for the shirt, but also for this fantastic picture. Mitch being a serial killer.
This is bullshit.
He texted it to me while we were calling you a serial killer. I was like, well, this is perfect. Thank you for this.
That's how Mitch gets caught. He always fills out his entire name on every document.
I know, just golf scorecards. Superstitious thing.
The visitor log says Mitchell.
This wedding book says Mitchell.
It says Mitchell.
This funeral ledger says Mitchell.
We're on to you.
Sign-in sheet here at the Chili's says Mitchell. Same those.
The carving above this glory hole. Anyways,
this unmarked grave out here in the grass says Mitchell.
A few years ago, I think this might have been 2018, 2019, this guy on Twitter replied to me something about the Cubs. And I went on his page, and he had like 5 followers. It was like a nothing account. But he only had like he had like 5 replies, and like I was the last one. The previous 4 were like replies to glory holes around Illinois.
Asking the guys back here, be here at what time? For man love?
We're just talking about some dudes and some wieners and some holes. That's all it's all about, man.
Just
Hell
skin.
yeah.
Just skin.
Oh boy. Aren't you glad you're back, Mitch?
No.
You came back, and I have to say this, dude. It's been a bit since we've had the NASCAR Minute, and the pictures have kind of, I mean, they've been there. Most of these pictures are the same, but it's been a bit. So like when you're kind of like reintroduced into the wild, it's a little overwhelming.
I know it was a little. I was rusty. I was a little disappointed.
I've never seen you break character. Yeah, dog gotcha. Yeah, dog gotcha. He what was it that got you from Yeah Dog? Was it the
He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, what am I talking about? I know damn well what I was talking about.
Entirely ironic.
But then I looked over because like you thought it was like the photo on the screen. So then I looked over and saw the Dahmer photo and like with the what was it, Teresi, I think it was.
Oh yeah, with the
and then
team.
that one, then I was just like completely off the rails. Then I completely lost my train of thought about
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good ad, but when they use that, I love that. That's a good one. I thought we did good with the Breaking Bad one this week. If people are Breaking Bad fans, that was cute.
Yep. No, I like that one. And then I did the one today with the fat kid from England dancing to Notorious B.I.G. I don't know why that kid cracks me up.
You didn't use this one, but I do want to show this. This came out today from a Vegas social media account that usually has some pretty good stuff. This is what we're looking at for the Oakland Athletics moving to Vegas Stadium. This right here, if you can, I don't know if you can't see if you see where the A's is, that's Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana. So that's the strip right there where the A is. Okay. And you would walk in.
What is that ring light?
That's just that thing that holds up the retractable stadium roof, and then it will closed out here. But it looks like you have to walk in through the center field or left center field entrance, but it does go around too. And there's supposed to be so that we have the Neon Boneyard here in Vegas, right? Which the old signs that's off near Cashman Field, which is like literally the worst part of town. They're moving to the A's stadium as well. They're going to have their boneyard there. So I think on the other side of the stadium, if you were to go to the other side of it, will be a neon museum where it's all the old Las Vegas signs from like the history of Vegas. So like the old, what's his name? The thumb guy, and then Lucky Lucy or whatever, or all those. Yeah, all of them. The Riviera sign, which would be kind of cool. But anyway, that's possibly the off season. We'll find out really soon.
Note I forgot to mention from the Miami race. This is kind of random, but I thought it was cool. So Kevin Harvick, he's like one of the big guys. He was like he's the last racer alive, or not alive, racing currently still, that raced against Dale Earnhardt. But he's retiring. So he's got the Busch Light car most weeks.
Okay.
And so because it was he won his only championship win was in Homestead, and he won it in a Budweiser car. So they ran a Budweiser throwback scheme, and they usually have a sponsor for the race. This week they made it the Forever, because like that's like his thing, like Forever 400. So that was kind of cool. Instead of having like a normal sponsor, like the Coca-Cola 600 or whatever. So I thought that was a nice little tribute to our guy Kevin Harvick and the guy that runs the Busch Light car, which I know is right up so his alley. So there you go.
Thank you.
Little nugget for you.
Thank you. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, for Mitch, Fids, although I'm Zoe, we will see you guys next week.